Yeah, man. Up. I'm up. Yeah, man. We are, man. Straight and pint. Straight and pint. Yeah, Herba come in right now. And Ready gonna come in now too? Yes. But you know we're straight and pint, from we say 8 at 8. Right and pint, yeah? So Herba gonna log in right now. Yeah, we have some things to deal with right now too, Some serious things to deal with. Yeah? And we want to start from the hospital. We could start from the hospital. Yeah? We have to start from the hospital because we see something in the paper today. When Herb come in, we start talking about that. We see something in the paper today where the Prime Minister said the hospital, that's a kind of regional hospital in our people. We start from Herb come in, yeah? All right. Herb.
Hi.
Yeah, man. Welcome.
Greetings.
Meeting
Greetings. How
up.
you doing? Everybody's up?
I'm good. Yeah, man.
I'm
Yeah,
good.
man, Rob. Yes,
So
brother.
we just
All right,
is
so Ratty coming in
Ratty not
right now.
there yet?
Ratty, him coming in
Yeah,
right now. Him
he's
coming in
coming
right
now.
now.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
All right, so here this Herb. So we could start from the hospital, right? We see the Prime Minister today in the paper talking about the hospital. In a 2017 Cornwall Regional Hospital, them say some fume or something, some fume, right? And them want to repair something and do some other little things. It start from a little trickle, and it turned out to be in 2018 nearly $2 billion, right?
Yeah.
Nearly 2 billion. Okay, and then now at what stand right now? 2023, three point something billion.
3.5 billion was spent up until after 2020. 2020, 3.5 billion was spent.
That's a
So
waste of money. Okay, so
assuming that they did nothing for COVID, right? They're now saying in order to finish it, it's going to take 14.5 billion or something to that effect.
all right, so I'm going to show them.
This was originally a $2 billion project.
Yeah, before lower than that.
Lower
Then
than
it
that,
needs 2 million.
1.3 billion or something like that. Yeah.
Yes. So it continued. But when I read what the Prime Minister said today, though, him talk like, remember, we did carry on the Minister of Health. When him came on, him said something like 5 point something billion.
Yeah.
Cost and all. And then that changed again. Because we carried the spokesperson and health, Dr. Maurice Sky. And him told us that is 10 point something billion.
Yeah, but it
And
gone
then
up.
they upgrade it again to 14 point something billion. But when the Prime Minister, I play it too, what the Prime Minister saying, when you reach to it, he must say it even cost more than the 14.8 billion.
Yep.
And he might find all kind of excuses. So it kind of hot with head. So let me play this and I could go through this.
All right.
All right. Frightening. Global inflation could increase cost to rehabilitate Cornwall Regional Hospital. Work expect to be completed in 2025. Who said this? Prime Minister. And make we hear what him cost come to know. The current 14.1 billion budget to rehabilitate the Cornwall Regional Hospital in St. James could increase because of global inflation. Him said could increase. Him said the current.
Increase. Yeah.
So why them never, before me even go through these people, whenever you hear this, Prime Minister, you don't know what you do still, And this you can't take Jamaican people for fool. We not diaspora what go through these things with a fine teeth come and hold them accountable. Because it's easier for him, not play it out. For build a new hospital, won't even cost so much money. That how much years after, because 2017, that's like 1 year after I'm coming. 6 years. No. In. And them are tell us 2 more years, make 8. And it will cost them more than 14.8 billion. So it moved from the 2 billion and gone to 14.1. That means it gone over 12 billion more. One hospital. and I repair them, I repair it. And him said that cost more than that. Yo, Jamaican people never wake up to these things, you know, this is stupidness, you know. 100% stupidness. Let me finish play that. And other variables, Prime Minister Andrew Owen said, while promising that the work will be completed in 2025. Him said could increase from that too. No right so. Yeah? The timeline for me is not an indication. But that's stuck. Alright, let me move that. Let me see if I stop that stuck. Alright, look like that stuck look a while. Yeah? Alright. So we can finish. You have the paper front of you. We can finish read out that for me. That one today?
Hold on a second.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at when this whole thing started. You know, they started building a clinic, and then they were going to do operating rooms, and then some smell. They started smelling a lot of stuff.
Yes.
And according to what they're saying, then they had to eventually start shutting down the hospital because people were getting sick. It became a sick building. And they had to move people out. But they have not explained what initially, other than the operating rooms and the clinic that they were building, that they were fixing, and they have not explained what caused the cost overrun to 3.5 billion in 2020. And then here we are 3 years later. They're saying it's going to run another almost $8 billion in addition to the 3.5 billion. Or is that
another 11? Because 14.
11, yes.
Yeah, it's nearly 11. Because 14.1. But him said no, it might have passed the 14.1 also. So you're going to tell me, say, a hospital, 1 building. And he might tell you some other little things with it. You can read it out. Yeah? 1 building. I got cost with that amount of money. Unbelievable. Ratty.
Yeah,
man, there, man. Yes. Salute.
So the current 14.1 billion budget.
Yes.
It says current then 14.1 billion more.
Yes.
Right?
So but him say it might have go up more because of inflation, world inflation.
But add the 3.5 billion to that, meaning that we're looking at 17.6 billion.
Yeah, it might have go up more than that. No, what him doing? We're only talking for 14.1. But him say it might have go up more than that because the world inflation and we start building sooner than later because when we build, it come up with some monkey story. I can't understand.
I'm saying the factors are beyond our control, right? And I'm talking about global inflation, which they have
come on now.
So the fact is, how did things escalate so badly after they initially when they were 1.3 billion, then 2 billion, then 3.5 billion,
then 14? When all right, so Ratty, you hearing me? Ratty, you hearing me? Turn up your mic. You just hear the while in there, you touch the mic, yeah man. It up? Yeah man, yeah.
Microphone.
Up. Up. Yes, Ratty. Yeah man. Evening, sir. Evening. Bless
yes,
up.
sir. Good evening to you and your listening audience. I'm a good friend, Herb Nelson Jr.
Hey, welcome.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Ratty. So we just talk about the Prime Minister and this money thing, right?
Yeah.
It moved from decline at 2.2 billion, and then it go up to what 3 billion, 3 billion, and then when the minister came on, him said it go to 5 billion, right? 5 Ratty.
Yeah.
And then when the spokesperson, the opposition spokesperson Mariska came on, him said it's 10 billion. And now them come back and revise it again and say 14.1. Now the Prime Minister in the paper said no, it might have moved from 14.1 to even more because of world inflation. What when them start though? It's a feeding tree now.
Hold on.
Because it's simple for you build a new building, brother. Eh?
You're surprised by that?
Me not surprised. But we want the people them want hold them accountable now. Them are going bad. Eh?
You're not surprised. I mean, you see what happened. You know, you see what happened. There is. I would submit that there is somebody should look into this because there might be fraud, mismanagement, waste, all kinds of things going on. And at the end of the day, who going to pay for that? It's not government going to pay for it. It's the poor taxpayers going to pay for it. Yeah. You know, and people shouldn't be misled into thinking that all of these things are government funded. They're not government funded. Government don't have the money. It's taxpayer funding. The money with them collect from the taxes. That's what them use. Government by itself not having the money. And you don't know them guys are not taking the money out of them pocket. The guys and girls not taking the money out of them pocket to pay for this. Right? So if anything, they would rather take money rather than put money in. So I mean, I'm not surprised, to be honest with you. And and here's a piece of bad news. I wouldn't be surprised for them to come back, 6 months from now and say, boy, we're going to add another 4 billion to it,
That him say.
He's setting it up.
That him say,
Mm-hmm.
But him say inflation, and him say we should have just build now. So you want me to ask Rattigan and Herb now. So if him they tell the people them say I build 70,000 new houses solution, right? And them not build yet. We not gone 5,000 yet. Much as 10 out of the 70,000 in 5 years. Then the one of them then are balloon up same way. The material and everything I use. So how much them house to yourself, brother?
They will be out of the reach of the ordinary purchaser.
But isn't that who is building it for the ordinary person?
True.
Yeah. But if they can't afford it, how are they gonna get rid of it?
Why? They might have to get rid of the government first.
But we have to hold them accountable to, brother.
Yeah.
Hi, Marie.
Hi, good evening.
Yes, man, evening. Evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Yes, hi.
Hi.
Yes.
Greetings.
How you doing?
Yes. Bless up.
Bless up, Marie.
Every time.
All right, so we are talking about how the Prime Minister came out in the paper today, and I tell you, the 14.1 billion, that might have go up because of world inflation and the cost of this, and it will go up more, and it might tell for bill earlier than later because things are go up more. 2 years it will take to finish, to complete. It's coming like it's a Ponzi scheme, it's a cash cow that them turn that in and now, $1 billion to scheme off. It don't make no sense, better. For repair a building, the private sector not say nothing to them about this. How are really going in Jamaica?
Well, look, 7 June 2017, 1.3 billion approved for repairs at TownHall Regional Hospital. That's the initial estimate back in June 2017.
Good.
And then headlines came out, so they needed another 2 billion. Right?
There. Mm-hmm.
So they went 2.2 billion, bring it to 3.5 billion by 2020. So we have had COVID, and because of COVID, them say everything gone up, the technology and everything. I don't know what kind of technology they wanted to put in the hospital that's going to cost so much. But the bottom line is, he now needs another 14.1 billion to finish. And he's putting us on notice that it's possibly going to cost more than that.
It will cost more.
Yeah.
Where the money will come from?
That's a good
the taxpayers' money. So where the money will go?
But,
that's an even better question.
But if I may wait. When you had Dr. Morris guy on?
Yes.
I'm getting a feedback. Are you getting a feedback? I hope not.
Yeah, it does. You think kind of itch little bit. But got you.
Okay. Parabolic. Okay, yes. But when you had Dr. Morris guy on, did Didn't he give you our Cornwall Regional Hospital?
Yeah, he give us a figure at them because when the health minister came on, him said 5 point something billion it's gonna cost. It's gonna cost to come up and him tell we how
But Dr. Boy said it was more from the get-go.
Dr. Guy come and say it's gonna be 10 point hard because them revised that. No, them go back now and them keep a tone at something and them say
Right.
14.1. No, the Prime Minister said it's going to be more because of world inflation and things gone. One bag of foolishness we matter. A cash cow. Because we don't understand we matter. I remember this a taxpayers' money, you know. And budget don't read, you know. Them did budget for that though.
Exactly.
So them have some of that estimate, but them call it. But them call it kind of estimate because them have supplement. What them call the estimate? When them go and raise more money and
Supplemental estimate.
I revise something and that. Them have revised something because it gone up. And a trillion point something now. The budget I got to. You understand? We don't understand these people. Yeah. And no audit no come out to you know, them no come out with no audit or something and show we say, hey, this is how the money spent. Them just come and tell they say it'll go up more. Because them people are get let go too long now and they get away too much corruption.
You need to see the initial plan that was laid out at 1.3 billion. And then you need to see how much they accomplish for the 3.5 billion, which is additional 2.2 from that initial plan. Because now it seemed like they're going to look out walls and tear down the other parts of the building they didn't count on doing before, or they're going to bring in all kinds of new hospital technology. You know,
can't cost so much money still. Me just can't because remember our hospital them and not even hospital. And if him say I buy some things like public don't have, Kingston public don't have none, buy the equipment from now because they use them for much years. Buy them from now if you say it's a raise and inflation and things. You agree with me? You don't buy them from now. Put them in these hospital. Buy surplus, put them in the hospital.
Kingston Public, their CAT scan and the other machine, they're
not working.
They're not working. So they should have at least bought several machines, set them up at KPH, and then transfer them to the Western Hospital at Cornwall.
That's it.
Once it's finished and they're ready to use them. You know?
But here the next thing with that now. You remember 2019? You remember them they kick up over the public the prison in 2015, right, Ratty? Them kick up over the prison. Okay. So them come back now and them start a public-private thing with their hospital. Remember, you know, most of the doctors, them where you see work in the public hospital. And they might give them 1.4 billion a year, I must say more now, to do some little simple surgery and things. I don't even understand that. That's some scheming I want because them have friend with a doctor. It will stop. That will cause corruption and breed more corruption in the country. 1.4 billion for do what? Oh, you have the biggest hospital then, but you have to source them out to the little private one then for 1.4 billion of taxpayers' dollars. What we get for it? It makes sense, Ratty?
Well, I hope you can find the thing where the JLP conference where the Prime Minister said that him get a whole heap of complaints about the Ministry of Health and Wellness and that all of them have been substantiated. And him named them out. Him start about service, equipment, the whole thing. Because if you recall, when we interviewed the Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Christopher Tufton, he said that, and I don't know if it was you or Herb who raised the question about Cornwall with him. And he said that the mistake he made was that he didn't get consultants and architects and all these professional people from outside the country. Because if you remember, he said people inside the country, they're good at building apartment buildings, but not good at building hospitals. And that's what he should have done.
Yes.
Because when they went there and started building, when they brought guys in from outside and they found that they were foundation problems. There are problems with the walls. There are problems with this that the guys in Jamaica didn't identify. And he said that was the biggest mistake, because then it's almost like he had to do it all over again after paying those men to do some work. So what that tells me is there's incompetence on his part, but it's expected incompetence, because remember, he has a degree in marketing. Right? So you kind of expect. So it's almost like anything that happens, and it's not just him. It's a lot of the people in government. When things happen, you cannot. The sense is that you should forgive them because they know not what they're doing. But the thing is, they're supposed to know what they're doing. That's why we put them there. That's why we put them there. And think about it. If you mess up on your job, in Jamaica, you don't have no blight get, you don't have no parados get. Your boss just fire you and done with you because him say you didn't do what you were hired to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the only way we can fire these incompetent people is election time.
Vote them out.
Yeah.
And hold them accountable too. Because me no believe
hold them accountable during,
man, you have to hold them accountable. Too much money, too much waste. No, it's a different time now. We have to hold them accountable. We can't just take this and just, you get rid of them and then them go on with billions top of billions. And we see our money are wasting in the country. We have to hold them accountable. No, man, that time for it stop. That time for this stop.
You want to hear something here? Back February 2017.
Yes.
UWI
Yes,
did a study on the crisis there. So do we know if this study was ever published?
No, I don't know about that study if it's published, So them do a study there, right?
They did a study about the crisis at the hospital. And that should have been published possibly a year later, which it would have been 2018, but I'm not saying nothing about it.
All right. You see, no, but we have them kind of wastage, yeah. We have to hold them accountable and we not joke about it. We have spit fire about this. We can't afford for the Prime Minister just come talk when we want talking at the paper and tell us say the world increase when one say and all kind of things. It are costing for go up so we for bill now. Still I take Jamaican for food. It's bad. It's bad. And it's a Ponzi scheme. I call it a Ponzi. Listen, it's simple for you to build a brand new building. It costs a long time less and it done long time. From 2017, but then I take it 2025 when the election are run.
Think about this for a second. Just think about this for a second, right? What's the date of this thing? Last December 31st, the Observer put out the best and the worst politicians, right? And the worst, and we're going to get to her tonight. We're going to get to her, is Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith, the biggest loser. Then we have Minister Favour Williams. And we have they mentioned Everett Warmington. He's not and they go on and Juliet Holness and a few. Dr. Horace Chan, of course. I mean, you should top the list. Instead of that, they put Minister Kamina Johnson topping the list. But these people have been failing, and they just haven't started failing. They've been failing for an extended period. And ask yourself the question: what would a competent, a decisive leader do in times like these? He'd replace them. He'd replace them. We have heard about a cabinet shuffle, which was supposed to take place in January, I believe. We're now in April. And the same people, the same people that he himself talk about the Minister of Health and Wellness, saying that we get complaints about them and the complaints are justified. Still there. We have Minister Chan, 94% disapproval rating, still there. We have the police commissioner, 91% disapproval rating, still there. We have, you name it. We have Minister Favour Williams, education is at an all-time low. Still there.
No, and we have and next we have and then we have some other people there where people are complaining. We have the agriculture minister, but people are when tell people to grow, and yes, still people have them onion a spoil on them. Them
Well, on it.
import onion in the country. Who do it?
Well,
Them
on it.
the government. See
Agriculture minister, him still,
Yes.
his ministry must answer to me. Must answer to me. I am trying to hold him accountable. I've filed what was required under the law to be filed. I filed it. They were supposed to respond within 30 days. It's been 100 and about 30 days now, and I still haven't gotten a response. But you know what? I have patience. And you see this to make only for wear hot. You know, make only for wear hot. So we're going to put them to the test. We're going to make them understand that just because we come from them place here, it no mean say we're brains no big like to them on. We're going to show them that. We're going to show them that. We're going to show them that. And when we get to come in, I'm going to get a sketch, an outline of a lawsuit I'm getting ready to file this week. And it don't make sense we even hide it because it will become public and we tell them, because you see, once the wrong has been done,
yes,
you can't address it. You can't correct it. And if you try cover it up, that's even worse than the wrong that you commit. Because we're going to find out. Because that's who we are around here.
Yeah,
that's who we are around here.
You know, someone just said to me, them, and it very valuable. Someone just said to me, no money to buy vote, no money for run the election, the local government election, but you have a money, you have 14.8 billion, and then it costs even more. But you never have no money for run a local government election.
Mm-hmm.
You have to question these things better.
But strangely enough, when 14 billion was supposed to be the cost of running the election back in 2020.
Oh.
So does that mean that they're setting aside money to run another election? The numbers seem to match.
Bingo.
Marie? Can you hear you, Marie?
Yeah, no, I'm listening. I'm hearing you. I'm listening to her, but you're not hearing me?
Yeah, we're hearing you, but it's breaking up. You're breaking up. You're kind of freezing up and breaking up. All right, so and next thing we want, no man, but I see what's not. That's too much money, and no one. It looked like a Ponzi scheme.
Okay, I think you heard Ben Rocky. Yeah.
You can hear? Here what you do. Like what you thought there, just call the number and you don't have to move that. Just call the number and we can hear you better. You talk on the phone. So you don't have to move. Just call the number. So we can hear you better. Yeah?
Yeah.
Just tell the number. You don't have to move that. Just pause it. Make a picture. Make it stay same place. Just put the mic on pause and call the phone and we can hear you better. You can listen, yeah. Can talk to you. So we can hear you clearer. Yeah? Got here good enough, you know, for trouble nothing, you know. Yes. Yeah, man. And next thing just mash me up, you see? And next thing will mash me up. Then me just see a thing come out. Yes. Yeah, you can hear me now. You can hear me now?
Okay.
Yeah, you know, right?
Okay.
Good. All right. Put the mic on pause and you can talk and we can hear it better now. Yeah. And next thing just come out. Ziggy Marley. But Ziggy Marley must have went to one of them hotel there in St. Anne's. But them no want a Jamaican there. You see that? I'm going to show you it now. I think him talk about it. But this is what I don't understand. See that? Look on the phone. Accused sea salt, a luxury villa in Ocherayas. Discrimination because he's a Jamaican. They respond.
What was the response?
Them no want a local.
Whoa.
Yeah, but the government tell we now, and I think him all of this. So him know it go because him, you know. So the government that tell we no, you invite people about invest in a Jamaica. Invest in a Jamaica. But these people who are investing in Jamaica, I tell you, say them the one the Jamaican. And them live overseas. No, that very dirty. Eh?
If that's what it come down to, and this government stand for it and don't do anything about it. Again.
In a Jamaica, in a which country, all them things are foolishness. It happened before. But it happened in the 70s. I think man did it send when them no want a Jamaican or something and them have a send pan hotel and make them know what is what. Yeah? It happened before, man. But you can't believe now in a them time that something like this happen. In a Jamaica.
Don't forget Puerto Rico Beach,
Ah. All right. You see. So it happen often.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a Jamaican book, you look like what them are tell the point blank. No, it's a luxury thing this. We don't want to hear so. I just foreigner here so. This is what the government do. When them hear this, them have to address it same time. Them out of order, man. That more than out of order. Can you imagine? You might go there and them tell the point blank say, Jamaica, no. That's not going to work. Yeah? This bad. This very bad. See?
If that happened to him.
Yes.
That happened to him. Can you imagine what that did to me, you and her before you show up there? And that are Ziggy Marley, international reggae stars. Bob Marley song. And me and you go there. Me and you go there and you're doing something else, not Rattigan.
No, but them know say if we come there, so now them have to close down. Because me different, Ziggy might have just straight and just come short. But number one, me I tell them, if me can't come in here, so you can't operate in another country.
Well, they want to hear something.
The government take a clash. No, cause of me stay.
They want to hear something. You see, once they turn me when me don't want to go back in there, no want to go to court.
They don't tell them, they want a clash.
You don't want to go back in there.
Yeah, man. Me are the worst, man. Yes, Marie.
Yes. What I'm saying is, this is a problem. It is sad that this is 2023. We have been down this road before. And for this to happen to Ziggy Marley, it only magnifies the problem that locals are having in Jamaica. Because not Ziggy Marley. It shouldn't happen to anybody but Ziggy Marley. The government is joking. And, something I wanted to say. Yesterday I had the opportunity to listen to Rattigan's program. And I heard Dr. Canute Thompson, I think it was, yes.
Yeah.
Use the term consequence-free. Jamaica has a consequence-free problem. Because I used to say it's a corruption-free country. Jamaica has a corruption problem. But it was the first time that I heard somebody put it in a context that really hit the nail on the head. It's a consequence-free country. And because there are no consequences, no one can be held accountable.
No. But we just add on to that. Consequence-free country for the big boys and government and politicians, not for the little man. So everything show up on poor people.
Right. No wonder all these politicians who are failing can't be held accountable. No wonder no one from SSL can be brought to justice, because who is going to do that? Who is going to hold them accountable? That is the problem that Jamaica has been having over the decades. And because of that problem, there's so much waste that goes unchecked, because year in, year out, there is waste, there is corruption. Nobody is held accountable. And the amount of money that goes down the drain in waste could cover a lot of the things that they need money to cover. They have to address the corruption problem. And finally, somebody needs to start holding these politicians and those who are contributing to the problem, finally hold them accountable. That is a problem that Jamaica is having.
And if it continues, so we are 80. I go back up.
It is sad to say that, but something, that is so true, because more and more, everything is pointing in that direction. No, but you can't. Who is there to talk to? Who is there to talk to? If you have a minister who is failing in his ministry and the prime minister has yet to hold that person accountable, who then is there to talk to? Who are they answerable to? Nobody?
No one.
Nobody?
But that was the
Cornwall
promise from the
Regional
prime minister.
Hospital is running over budget. I mean, that shouldn't, if there was, they said they have an integrity commission, this should be before them they run over the budget first time. And nobody, what is, it's like there's just a free for all, just throw money. What is happening? What is really happening?
So, Ratty.
It makes no sense.
All right. Let me ask Ratty something. Ratty, and Herb, you see the other day, them have something where they want all the commission, the same thing, the commission, they want hold them accountable. Them in the parliament, they want change up. I think a Warmington come up with something like that. When can move and do that's so stupid. So it farm for hold them accountable, but him want hold them. The same set of people for hold him accountable. Him want hold them accountable and move who him want move. Is a dictatorship country or what?
Well,
That's Fox watching the hen house.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
The medias have not helping very much down there. The main media, the Gleaner, the Observer. Because what they allowed the GLP to do was to spin the whole incident to make it seem like the Integrity Commission came after an innocent man, and that they, it was just sheer a deliberate attempt to crucify him and to give him a bad name. And when they spin it like that, then it turns out now they're the ones investigating the Integrity Commission. But in truth and in fact, had the Integrity Commission done its job and come after him for the one charge that they found to be viable, they wouldn't be going through this problem right now. You know?
Exactly.
So what you say, him that end up like Donald Trump. So if them can charge Donald Trump, why Jamaican Prime Minister, when them do all these kind of things, people go round these people? Why? When them the bigger than the laugh the land? A tooler, does the ghetto people alone you stepping in them neck? But them people you can't charge them? It make any sense, Ratty?
No, you know, yesterday, and for those of you who didn't watch it, it will be up on YouTube, I think, tomorrow. So you can, those of you who didn't watch it live, the show yesterday, because Dr. Canute Thompson pointed out we're talking about scandals, and he pointed out three scandals that should be investigated, but they're not investigated. One of them was the liquid petroleum gas scandal, where they said that they were operating something out of St. Catherine without a license, and they were able to show that a major figure in Parliament was behind the financing of that structure.
That's the liquid petroleum scandal there.
Yeah, the liquid petroleum gas scandal. And you don't hear anything about it. Nothing. And if you, Marie, Herb, and I, if we operated something like that, we'd be doing like what? We'd be doing like our second year in prison now or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
fast, yes.
Then he mentioned something. He mentioned that this same parliamentarian, Mr. Warmington, that during COVID, he was moving about and the police stopped him and he cursed them out. And there was supposed to be an investigation. Zero, nothing. He wasn't held accountable.
What the police get though? Now I cut you. The police get Mandison move because him start play politics with Mandison. And Madison come from up in a St. Andrew there where him father is an activist, a JLP activist. Move Barrett back, make sure it's all right. But him start play politics with the man. You know what the man there? Him there out of Huntsby. Him them throw him that scrap heap in the dump. Right. In the criminal place, Huntsby. Because most criminal police come from out there, so. You take a good man like that and throw him a scrap heap.
So the question is, what happened to that?
You know something when...
You have to finish that. Hold on a minute.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, right.
No worries. They were talking about the professor was talking about the fact that there's nothing done, nothing that we know have been done about this particular investigation. Then he mentioned one of your favorites, Lonesome, The man who they found dead inside the lawyer's house.
Yes.
And he said, nothing, you know. So there are two types of justice in Jamaica. One for them and one for us.
And this bad. We have to change it. We have to hold them accountable. And then the police they make it worse because I mean, if them did not do them job, it will not so bad. You have to clean the police force because them is like a puppet there, and put puppet there, up top, for guard over Wagwan, because that man, we back him in a court same way. So that man, he man a police. But him sit down on the top there for us protect the arms house we are going. It need to stop.
Wait, you know what I'm thinking? What I'm thinking?
Yes.
If the judiciary was an independent judiciary, because it's supposed to be an equal branch of government, correct?
Yes, correct.
If it was an independent judiciary, which means it's independent of influence from the government, then they should be able to hold these politicians accountable because they have the power, the DPP and the investigation body have the power to investigate them, and if they're found guilty of anything, they should bring them to justice if they were operating as an independent body, as they should be. But clearly, they are not operating as an independent body. That is the problem. Because this policeman, for doing his job where Warmington was concerned, should not have been sent to the scrap heap. And if the commissioner of police was doing his job, that would not have happened to one of his officers. He would not have allowed that to happen to his officers. So clearly, the judiciary is not independent of the government.
Right, let me ask Ratty this. I'm going to ask Herb this, right? Herb and Ratty, let me just ask you this. If that was a member of parliament, right? Minister to, him no lose him title, right? That a Warmington. And him call him fellow minister. Like how in the state or the then president call somebody in a judge and I say, make them go away because them have a serious investigation on him. If him call Cham, if him call Dr. Club, and tell Dr. Club, say, listen me now work with him in here, so me win by 5,000 votes. And me now work with him, and then when you look, them take the man and transfer him. Him and Dr. Club in a trouble, don't it?
Yep.
Eh?
They look, everything that is being done island-wide in an organized crime fashion, they're going to live to regret it. Because I had sent you guys a case earlier over land in Barbados, 1,000 acres, and rip off this woman. From 1998, this case hit the courts. And it finally settled in a Miami court. And I never knew that if you were in the U.S. and you lose your property in a Caribbean island, that a U.S. court could settle it. And it has been settled. The U.S. court found in favor of the plaintiff. I don't know if you guys read it. And they're ordering the Bajan government to pay over $269 million for to settle the lawsuit. So all of what they're doing, no matter how corrupt they are, somebody's gonna find a way to gain standing, whether it's in a Canadian court, which is Commonwealth country, or any other Commonwealth country. They're gonna find a way to file suit and to bring all of these people to some punishment that's going to be meted out to them financially, hit them in the pocketbook, and that's what they usually feel. So, $269 million is a lot of money for ripping off the woman's property. And
this is something to Ratty. So if that lady could have filed it in a Miami court, and we can stay and file things in America and Canada too. Ratty, they want to hold them now, man. Turn up back the mic. Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, man.
No, the thing is, I read the article, right? But what I didn't find a jurisdictional basis. But Herb just said that if you're a U.S. citizen and you have property overseas, then that's a basis for jurisdiction. But when I read the article, I didn't see it, so I had to go back and pull up that case and say what was the basis for jurisdiction. Because if it's true that if you have dual citizenship and you have property in Jamaica and things are going on, then that would give you the basis to file a lawsuit in America. Then almost everybody in a overseas, yeah, could have just filed something against them.
So if the government are going with them arms house and you have dual, that means you can stay there and work them too.
Yeah,
if your interest, your taxpayers' money.
Yeah, the thing about it is though, generally speaking, a court will not issue an award if it cannot enforce it, right? So to say to the Bajan government, you have to pay back this 200 plus million. I don't know if they have the wherewithal to force the Bajan government to do it. But what this person can do is go through the State Department, because all the countries then get funding. Yes. And they can say, okay, you're supposed to get 500 or whatever this year. You're not getting it. We're going to give it to this lady because of the U.S. court. So that's how they have to.
And them seize asset too.
Yeah, them can freeze assets in the U.S.
Because them use that as power too.
Yeah.
So when them talk, like Jamaican way, them coming like a scavenger, the government coming like a scavenger where each up and look scrap all about. Because that them doing a mass of taxpayers' money and I look for bed and out all about. Yeah?
Yes. They get more IMF money, yeah.
And what do with the IMF money, by the way? Where them just borrow?
But Jamaica gets the most from IMF, Jamaica have over 780-something billion in IMF, million in IMF loans, Jamaica.
Them just got 1.7 billion again. Where them borrow it for?
So I don't understand. They are getting so much money from the IMF, and they're getting money from remittance, and they're getting money from tourism. Yet nothing is happening in Jamaica that really makes that you can point to as a success story. Then where's the money going? What is happening? Who is in charge?
We don't. Some criminal, Alibaba and the party yet.
Yeah. Let me just say something here. Quite a few people over the last several weeks have said to me, we like what you're doing. We like what Lonesome is doing, Herb is doing, and all of you guys. We like what you're doing in the sense that you're removing the veil so that we can see what's going on. But they said, what we need to know is to take it to the next step and tell us, what can we do? Now, we know that the people in Jamaica, they're very fearful. So some of the things that, for example, that you are doing, Lonesome and Herb, the people in Jamaica will never do it. Right? They'll never do it. I mean, on a whole, you may have one or two people, but on a whole, they'll never do it. No, because they're fearful. Because this prime minister has shown that he's not afraid of using force to crush dissent. He's shown that clearly on several occasions. So what that does is there's a vacuum in terms of action. So we have to fill that space. We have to fill it and start doing things and showing people how things are done. And hopefully that will inspire them as a group, not as an individual, to come out and start doing some of the things that they need to do. What I would love to see happen is that I don't like the idea of breaking the law at all in Jamaica. Anywhere, I don't like the idea of that. If you don't like the law, there are ways you can go about getting it repealed or amended. So what I would like to see is that people get together and as a group start taking action, legal action. For example, court filings. I would love to see the day when people who are affected, they start filing, even if it means clogging up the courts. You just start filing, because somebody's going to have to listen to those cases, right? And at some point, believe me, it's going to get international attention. And that's one thing that a country like Jamaica fears a lot, is negative international press. They hate that. Whether it's on the tourism side, whether it's good governance, violence, whatever, they just hate that. Bad press at home is fine. They can deal with it. But bad press overseas, that's not good at all.
It's worse. That's true. That is so true. But, like you say, Ratty, the people are fearful because Andrew Holness has employed a very high-handed way of dealing with things like he's a dictator. So it's like people are afraid to speak out, speak up, because he might send somebody there to arrest them. So it's like, I don't know what Andrew Holness is smoking, but he needs to realize that he's not he's not Kim Jong-un, he's Andrew Holness in Jamaica. So if the people had the power to speak up without fear of retaliation, I think more would be happening.
You know, say when you speak up, right? Great in numbers. If you move the fear, you know, and people like me and Ratty and Earl and Herb and even you, right? We get up here, that's how I said the man of the wilderness, because we're going to talk about mine, and we like feel like the bird when we attack. We mind. And we're going to point it out to the youth, them and them forget wise. Stop killing yourself. Yeah? Get together like a Ratty say. We preach that every day. Hold them accountable. Remember, them I work for no. That's the first thing. So them can't be on the boss. I will not the boss. That's why them come back every 5 years for a vote. Yeah? So at them, you can turn on that for me, please. Yeah, man. So Uno at the boss, not them. The $5,000 thing that done too. Yeah? Hold them accountable. Let me tell them this. All minister accountable. All MP university start accountable. No chat from them.
But
you understand?
It's about time, because nothing is happening yet. They're calling all these figures. What the finance minister said, there will be no new taxes. Really? Everything is going up.
It's a lie. So that's the biggest trick. That's the biggest trick in the book.
It is a trick, because no new taxes. Who is benefiting from no new taxes? Not the poor people, the wealthy.
So we're asking something then. Let me ask something then. So no new taxes, Ratty and Herb. But you're still every day $50 gone up and something $100 plus tax. $200 plus tax. They're not going to pay bigger taxes. So if I tell you no new taxes, it'll block you. Then he might try to raise money now for spend somewhere else. Him start to accept on the motorists then. Instead of you take off the 2 man off a bike, make them stop walk and shoot on people. You have to accept by innocent people. And a charge man ticket, I give man ticket. For what? For him toolkit. In a vehicle back. When you're not supposed to in the man vehicle, you stop him and tell him and force him for open him the back part of him vehicle. See him toolkit, when for do. Leave him toolkit, so if him get a puncher, him put a stay right there, so. It don't make no sense. Them a run down Jamaica. Me I talk to someone yesterday, I think. I must today. And them I say, well, when the people them, you know, like on the sidewalk and even at the river where them go mash up the raft them. Right? You go mash up the raft them. You know, say the hotelier them. And Bobby, what him name again? Bobby, that farmer MP. Him too greedy to, you know. Yeah? Because the river, they're not feed them river. Me and somebody tell me like, but him own, me say him can't own the river. None of them don't own the river in Jamaica. None. The river not the sea. I fear all of us. So when you say government, them not supposed to have the river, them and do this. For you come and say, okay, get some life jacket. It's not so deep, but get some life jacket and thing. You go and mash up the thing and then tell lie. So what you want them people there to do? Go fire gun? Oh, them feed them picnic. Them there for years. Donkey years, and this I want to do to them. And them same and turn on and vote for Uno. Uno sick. Make me just give a warning. We have to say like it decent. There is no way, and no man on this earth, where you're going to do me something and I laugh with you, you couldn't get my vote. Because anything where you do, I'm going to deal with, I'm going to give up like 100-fold, I'm going to deal back an to your 100-fold. You see, anytime you get serious like that, because some are growing up. You understand? When you get serious like that, no man around put you know. Him not try to trick you and go around you know. And that's a serious thing.
When they vote for them, when they're voting against their own self-interest.
That is it.
Because when they went and destroyed those rafts, you know, why destroy them if they're not in compliance? Give them a certain amount of time then to come into compliance, but to just destroy a livelihood like that, that's a family that is destroyed. Children cannot go to school, rents can't be paid, that is just not, it's easy for them to just destroy these rafters' livelihood, but those are families that have bills to pay like everybody else that can no longer do that just in one fell swoop. So that wasn't any forward thinking. Give them some time to come into compliance.
That is it.
Go in there like that and just, that was so heart-rending, it is not funny.
It hurt, man.
And the thing is, this is a problem. The hotel owners, the hotel industry controls the wealth. So very little is going to the people in the community. So they have to make their way.
And the man control the river now.
Tourism is sucking the country dry. So when they talk about Jamaica as a beautiful place to go to, yes, it is. But the people are not benefiting from tourism. It's only the hoteliers are benefiting from tourism. Private sector is benefiting from tourism, not the local people.
Okay.
And there was a time when they benefited from it.
Yes.
The fact of the matter is, I saw the report on TV. And when I saw it, I said, this is really strange. Why would you, in fact, destroy their equipment? And the only answer I could come up with, you're doing it to benefit someone. And who benefits when you destroy their equipment?
Exactly.
One of the people sponsored by the hotel or by whoever is running river tours and stuff like that. It's a protection racket, right? It is a protection racket. And for you to run that kind of protection racket against your own people, right? You've got to live and let live. And that means you got to have competition in everything that we do, because you have 3 million people, and the 3 million people, not everybody is equipped to earn a living. And Jamaicans have a lot of kids in the family to feed, a lot of mouths to feed. And if they don't have mouths to feed, then they have aunt and uncle and granny and papi and everybody else have taken care of. So you can't just shut down a family like that, cut them out, and then say, we did it because they broke the law. You bring them and them in, then them start sawing the people's raft in half and all kinds of stuff. That's nonsense.
Oh gosh, man.
It is. Exactly. If they were breaking the law, what law? First of all,
what law they're breaking?
The law where they're breaking. And then if they say, okay, then I give you 3 to 6 months to come into compliance with whatever law they think they were breaking. But to just come and destroy their property like that, come on. That was heartless.
Now, let's say something to Rattigan now. Rattigan. All right. Hear what them say. Them say them sexual harassment. This is what them put in the paper. Now, if you, Rattigan, are her, and me, myself, we have to look for our family, and we're going to build a raft. No, remember, the tourists will come at them and pay away. Why am I going to give them trouble? And then you can't tell me you must have so much raft, so the whole of them raft money I get trouble. It don't make no sense. It can't make no sense. If a man break the law come deal with that man.
Yeah.
But you can't go mash up the people them raft and tell me say break them a break. What kind of law? I feed them river. They think I feed the whole away. Them come and create an employment, and up to that the hotelier and the guy when named Bobby, assume me have him name somewhere around there, so he's a farmer MP guy. Him want control that down there, so that guy.
You mean
not Nantiku, he's a farmer.
Not you mean farmer Pickers?
No, I'm gonna tell you his name. I'm gonna tell you his name in a minute. Now I'll tell you his name in a minute. Ratty. What you say about that, man? Remember, people have no job, Remember, the Chinese, them get the job, Them get land, Remember, our people, them slave out, but Chinese come get land. Free. Concession get it free. Them get everything free and all right, but our people, them are starved. And them are stepping at them next year, what them are going to do?
Remember that an international body said that, I don't have the document here with me, but it said that, well, the document is here, but I can't find it right now. It said that approximately 2 million Jamaicans are eating less than what's required.
Yes.
To keep you healthy.
Them hungry, yes.
Right, them hungry.
Sad.
That's approximately 2/3 of the population.
Yes, yes.
And then when you destroy a man, to start out with, they're not eating healthy, right? And then you destroy his means of livelihood to eat unhealthy. Now you destroy his means of livelihood. None can eat.
Yeah.
What you expect him for though?
Okay. So them a ton of crime.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So them a ton of crime. Them willingly a ton of crime. Not only that, at this planet, you see man a drop sledgehammer in a people's stall when them try to something. Instead of me say me could do something, all the side what them doing now. Them have some people in Jamaica now when I think. Them uptown now go down there to go buy. Who go down there go buy? And your nephew and your friend them and everybody go down there go buy. So that'll be problem with sidewalk and you now go down in a West Street and them place there. In the first place. See? So if me walk on the sidewalk and I say, man, me want something, I have no time for cut a boom bam bam. You not even drive down there, so. With them there. Because sometimes shop just busting all kind of things. So you not go walk there. You not have the art for walk there and go there. Okay? You just want to go mash up them things. People stop vote for these people. Find out who are the councillor. Yes. Find out who are the councillor. Find out who are the mayor. Make sure we don't vote for them. We don't put them out of job. Them who are going to trouble, make sure we put them out of job and be serious. Right here, so you have to talk to the people them serious. You understand? We not play with them. Yeah, man.
But you know something, Wayne?
Yes.
It's you talk about them taking away their stuff. What are they supposed to do and how crime is high? And it was on yesterday, Rattigan backed me up on this when Dr. Kanu Thompson was talking about the percentage of people, young Jamaicans, graduating, going to tertiary institutions and graduating as against the level of crime. And the amount of students going to tertiary institutions, the percentage of that is way lower than those who are involved in crime. Same age group, way lower than those who are involved in crime. So it goes to show that the government is doing nothing to manage the crime situation in Jamaica, because if they were, they would invest in the institutions that would cause a young person not to want to gravitate towards crime. They're not doing that. They're pushing them further and further to crime by doing these things, not putting money into education, not putting money into social services, not putting money into vocational skills. And then when a person decides that, okay, I don't have a skill, I don't have I'm not academically accredited, so I'm going to start my own business. I'm going to do a raft. Then you come and you destroy the person's business. What are they supposed to do?
All right, so let me tell you now. Let me tell you who have the raft now. So, him name, come here, have him thing they done, you know. Let me just burn it from now, you know. So, him name, understand, him lease the property. And I stop the youth them food. Him name Bobby Marsh.
Okay.
Yeah. So they were off them, and let me tell you now.
How can be on the river? That makes no sense.
And him have raft that too, you know. He was a farmer. Bobby Marsh was a farmer, JLP, MP, down there. None of him want raft them not touch. Him have raft down there. So him lease the property. And him want the whole of this. None of him raft not touch. Now I tell him, you know,
So
them thing are evil thing, you know.
He's taking away their livelihood.
Yeah.
Yes, he's like Herb said.
He must try to control everything.
Yeah.
Bobby Marsh. Yes, I'm Ratty.
Not only that, he might jeopardize the rafters them that him have a work on the river. He might jeopardize for them lives too.
But there can be retaliation.
Yeah, because I'm gonna say, you know the Jamaican thing. I'm gonna say, if me not do it, then nobody can do it.
Yes.
Nobody can do.
So him have raft there. Him have raft there. And none of him not touch. Them just touch them, yeah. This is what them are do. You know, it's so sad. You know, man I ride one from bike. They said 2 man must sleep on a bike like that. Yeah? And yes, the man can ride one bike and go shoot taxi man. And just one up. I said, them kind of way there, you know, people that Papa is right, same thing. Man ride up on bike, same way, boom, bam, bam. And them always I get way. Them always a get way. But you know a drive, them a charge you for your tool. Them a stop you, them say distinct. Them stop the wrong set of people. It's like, me no know. You know, them turn up crime. And them no want to stop it neither because this is a way when you look on the crime, them have time for thief. And run Ponzi scheme like the Western hospital. It's a Ponzi scheme. Because you don't build a new hospital. Brother, me tell you something. Me see the other day in the pandemic, how much them say them a give each constituency? 2 million Jamaican dollar. 2 million, 63. So that is 126 million. But $2 million can go to like 80,000 people living in our constituency or more. Or you share it. Who it could have touched? But you still one hospital. You're gonna 14.8 billion and say it costs more. Yeah, give a 1.4 billion every year to the friend them. We're working at the same hospital. So if a man, hey, Ratty, look at this criminal. If you that name conflict of interest, you are the doctor, them are working at public hospital, and the one of the hospital them cost the board. But you have a private practice. You know, look what the man in your when you get broke foot or anything, you know. But when you come across us, no government will give you much money, and then you look both them in the private. That and them I get paid still from out of the person. You know. That makes sense to you, Ratty?
No.
You know, say I pay criminality, I go on, brother.
Speaking about criminality, her and loan is it Marie or Marcia?
Yes. Yes.
Did you
Maria?
Yeah. Did you see that there was an announcement made that the U.S. government is now providing anti-gang training to the JCF?
Yeah.
Did you see that, Herb?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Let me just say a little bit about training in general. Right? Because we know just a little bit about training. We don't know a whole heap, but we know just a little bit. And a little bit we learn over 30 years. In order to do a training, in order to have effective training like this, what you need is something called a training needs assessment first. Because a training needs assessment will start looking at your crime issues, and it will take into account the culture, the history, the stats. It takes into account a whole bunch of things, and then what will happen after that is that they will tailor a training regimen for that particular country. That's the way you do it when you say we want to deal with a country, we want to deal with a particular issue in a country. When you hear them say, "Oh, we're just going to provide training," we call that canned training, off the shelf. We have that on the shelf, and a rookie might come in at the training unit, and the man them say, "Okay, we can't make a guy go. We don't make this guy or girl go England or Europe or whatever. Make him cut him teeth down in the Caribbean." And them say, "Listen, them man some training down in a Jamaica. Grab the training manual, go through it over the weekend, and then make a flight and go down and provide the training." All right? That's generic training. That's not specific training. That's the training them get, because here's why them can't do a training needs assessment. When you do a training needs assessment, and I've done one. I've done a one in a I won't name the country, but it's a country that everybody knows, right? And the leaders actually called me. They called the CIA, and then the CIA called me, and I went, and that's how I established a relationship with them, because they had a serial killer problem, and we dealt with it. But when you do a training needs assessment, you will have to open your books. You will have to come clean and show everything so that the people coming in can look at everything and say, okay. And I mean, these people are experts, but they're only experts if you give them the information. And do you think Jamaica is going to open up its books?
Not to JCF books, that brother.
No.
That book they can't open, brother.
Because if that
the
happens,
big boy, the book they can't open,
nobody will be left there.
Eh?
They might be supplying the arrest needs.
Oh, them for open a book there.
No, but you see, let me tell you something. Any police commissioner, the next police commissioner, if he or she is truly independent and objective and wants to do something about the crime situation in Jamaica, do a training needs assessment before you do anything else. Do it. Because then you have to open up the books and you have to look and see what investigation was initiated, what investigation should have been initiated, wasn't initiated, what about evidence, witnesses, where is it in the court, who's in charge, all of this stuff. Then you look at the stats. And when you show it, going to show a lot of things. It's going to expose you. You're going to have to take off your clothes. And so we don't look good naked, like me.
Boy, there's a ratty. Them not gonna run way.
Yeah.
Them not gonna do that.
But there's no place to run. Yes.
Rattigan, this is my question to you. Can crime be managed? Should it be managing crime or fighting crime? Because I cannot understand how you fight crime with crime. I don't understand that.
Look, the idea of eliminating crime it's not going to happen, because even Saudi Arabia with Sharia law, where if you commit a murder, I mean, unless the decedent's family, want accept blood money, you getting your head chopped off. And if you steal, if you're a habitual criminal and you steal, they're going to chop off your right hand, because when you eat with the right hand, so you can't eat in public, because the left is traditional. They say it's used for something else. Unless you have something like that, like I think Saudi Arabia have one of the lowest rates of rape, right, and murder and robbery, because when they're inflicting punishment, they do it in public. You can't actually go down to the square and see. So what's going to happen to you, right? Unless you have something like that, and I wouldn't suggest that in a Jamaica, that's too draconian. In fact, I'm glad I didn't go down to the square and watch a beheading. But unless you're willing to do something drastic like that, or maybe less than that, or more than that, unless you're willing to do something drastic, you cannot eliminate crime. You can only manage it. You can control it to a level where it's happening and people will accept it at a level, and they still move on with their lives and they still feel safe. No, when you have triple murder, double murder, broad daylight, crowded areas, I mean, how people feel safe? People can't feel safe. So it's
a desensitization to crime.
Exactly. So this idea about them bringing training about gangs and stuff like that, and they're doing prison intelligence, and they're doing this and they're
prison intelligence.
Yes,
the police are carrying up one bag of contraband, 100 man. Look, them just want him to come out in there, and because I me tell you, so the people them static in there. Me to tell my undercover brethren say them static, and you just see them with NSC and see them all. No, them static. Them can't come out. If you don't feed them dead. If them not let them out of the yard, them can't move. Right? So if you see them with clocks, or you see them with anything at all, you have to talk about the warden there. In the jail now, when you see them with ganja and all kind of things, you talk about the same police, them is criminal. Them all one does now. Them just all one. You understand? Straight criminal. I know two way about it, them are criminal. Yeah? That's why the country need to clean up. But them not clean up. Yes, sir.
But up to the other day, when there was a lot of escapes from the jail, if you notice, they were punishing just the constables them. It's as if no senior person was working or ever working, right? And they said that some of them were accepting money to let people out of jail, right? So I asked the question, all right, if that's true, how did the two Haitian politicians that was part of the assassination of that president, how did they come into Jamaica, right? Who accommodated them on the island, and who profited from that? But you see, it's like all of these things happen and they don't investigate the cause and to who affected this kind of behavior. It's not being investigated. So that when you don't investigate like that, it means it's somebody high up on the totem pole that you could, in fact, would have to indict. And it's not going to happen. Again, like you say, you know, the small man, he will always get arrested, have to pay a fine, and serve time in jail. But when it comes to the big man, them, what happened? You know, them too big for the jail.
You know, say me about something pan this. I just telling you something. I'm not ready for telling you yet. But you have a police from East Kingston. I'm going to talk to JCF. When you give him promotion to soup now. That police very mixed up. Can't my surname. Now I call out him name, but I say him can't my surname. It's so close, I come. That man, when they did Sosoka, when they did hold him because he can't look up to go to school, 8-year-old, with a DC. It's a DC woman daughter. And I ask her what kind of panty she wear and thing. When I take where I'm going and put him pan, when I put him pan. Him name call up pan, when him send police go get with a man and him get them job there. Him have a woman police who war over him at the station, then him transfer, him have the power. Yeah? Okay. And then him have woman who are both police woman from out 9 mile. Where I say she broke in her mouth and face and all kind of things. No, me soon no give him promotion. Me soon ready for him. Me soon ready for you, you know. Because remember, you're not too much wrong for them to put you. So him get promotion, but much depend probation, no. Same way. So if you go demote you have my surname. Remember, you're the station out of East. Remember me at the win, you know. Remember me at the win. So there is no way you're supposed to get a promotion. Yeah? So I give you a warning from now. You may think out what your case. And what you do. Yeah? So I tell you just come off, go retire and go away. All right. Don't talk, yeah, man.
If you had an effective commissioner of police, that would be. I'm not saying we're not gonna have road cops now, but that kind of madness would not be the order of the day. That seems to be. Listen, these road cops seem to be the order of the day in Jamaica because the police commissioner is missing in action.
Yes, lack of leadership. Absolute lack of leadership.
Them not have the police commissioner. Them have a puppet. Them have a Google Gaga. Just protect, you know, political
But he's collecting all this money.
Yes.
What for? What is he getting a salary for? What is he
nothing, and him get raised up pay for nothing at all. Just come out and talk about foolishness and bag of rubbish. So we have to knock him. And a joke is that Ratty, Jamaica have any commissioner, real commissioner of police? You see any?
You asked 2 questions right there. So you asked if Jamaica have a commissioner, and then you asked if Jamaica have a real commissioner of police. Which one you want me to answer?
Well, yeah, man.
Yes to the first one, no to the second one. Yes, they have a commissioner. They have a commissioner. But and again, this is all based on his performance. This is not based on, you know, innuendos or perception. This is based on facts. It's based on his performance. And then if you don't even have to take my answer for it. Take the 91% of the people who said they'll have no confidence, little to no confidence in his ability to execute the job. I mean, that says it all. And then we're still paying all of this salary. Crime is going up, and it is. But you know, when you listen to him talk, because I went back and looked at a couple of his speeches recently, and he's learning on the job, and he's a slow learner. He's learning on the job, and he's a slow learner. And I don't think he'll catch up to I don't think he'll catch up to the times as far as law enforcement is concerned. And as Maria said, crime management, crime fighting. Well, actually, I mean, he may not fight crime. He might try and manage it, you know, and he might fight it the wrong way. So, to answer your question, no. But there is hope. The JCF has some tremendously talented people within the ranks who I think would do a tremendous job as police commissioner. They do. But the JCF, like a lot of other agencies, has been politicized. Because when you if you think about the JCF as being independent and objective, right? Then if you think about it like that, then he shouldn't be the police commissioner. He's too close to the prime minister and the other people in the party. So, and I've always asked the question, do you think that if there's reason to arrest the prime minister for some act, some contravention of some laws or whatever, you think he's going to do it? No. Would have probably warned him way before, once him get wind of it. Any investigation that they try to start up for, first of all, it will be shut down. Because that's just the nature of the beast. And again, we have to start being more proactive. It's good that we're talking about the problem, because people tell me every day, them say, why you loan some Herb and the others, why not educated, because we understand things that we never understood before. And that's good. But we need to take it to the next step, which is, okay, what are we going to do about it? And I'll use that to segue to this point I'm going to make. I'm going to take up a few minutes of your time. And I hope you'll indulge me, right?
What's you?
No, I filed talking about what can we do, what will we do beyond talking. What happened when the fertilizer thing, when Jamaica voted, or Jamaica took sides with Morocco against the people of the Western Sahara, which we've never done since 1976. JLP and PNP government, we never did governments, we didn't do that. In 2016, 2017, we decided that we're going to, 2017, 2017, we decided that we're going to go against the grain, we're going to go against history, and we're going to side with Morocco, right? And I have pictures of the foreign minister, who's still the same foreign minister of on foreign trade, the Honorable Kamina Johnson. Pictures of her sitting down with the Moroccans, negotiating how they're going to do it. Then all of a sudden, we get last year, I think it was, we get a gift of 2.6 million pounds of fertilizer. And some people have heard me talk about this before, but it's worth talking about, because the thing is, we can't talk about something and then leave it alone. We have to keep talking, and then do something about it. So what did I do about it? I filed under the Access to Information Act, and Jamaican people have been telling you, file under the Act. And if you're afraid to file under the Act and you have information, send it to anyone on the panel here. We will deal with it from abroad, because we're not afraid. Part of that is distance too. But other than that, we're still not afraid. But I filed underneath it. Now, under the law, they have 30 days to acknowledge receipt of the application and notify me that, one, they're going to give me the information. They give me the information. Two, we're not giving you the information because of this, and that. Or three, we need more time to give you the information. It's been the document. It's been up more than 120 days, I think. I remember now the law says 30. It's been more than 120. I have yet to hear from the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries. No, that's one case. The second case, which I'm going to spend some time talking about now, is this. Does anybody remember that the Honorable Kamina Johnson Smith, she decided to run, well, the government nominated her to run for Secretary General of the Commonwealth. Sure, people remember that. And if you don't, I understand, because it got buried with a whole bunch of things since then. And no, yeah, it was last year. So what happened is this. There was a consensus in CARICOM that CARICOM was going to support the incumbent. There's a lady have this job, lady named Baroness Scotland, I think, from Dominica. She have this job. And you're supposed to serve 4 years. And if you want, you can ask for an extension. And traditionally, it's a handshake agreement that if you have the job and you want an extension of another term, they give it to you. It's only one time in the history of the Commonwealth that somebody opposed it, and the person who opposed it lost miserably. So it's common. That's how they do it. Yeah. This woman served her 4 years, and I think because of COVID, that 2 years it was inactive, and she said, listen, I want to extend it, but what I'll do when I extend it, I'll only serve 2 years, and then I'll leave, because the next go around, it rotates. So the next Africa will get the next Secretary General position. Some African country will get it. So Jamaica, there was a consensus among CARICOM that this is what we're going to do. We're going to support the lady who had the job already. All of a sudden, Jamaica said, no, we're going to submit our own candidate, the Honorable Kamina Johnson Smith. And they did. It caused a fracture in CARICOM. They couldn't get the full support of CARICOM. So what did they do? They decided we're going to Africa, right? So they give her a budget of 15 million Jamaican dollars, I think, for PR. And then out of the blue, 99,000 US dollars came from Jamaicans to support her candidacy. So she went to Africa. She did some things that I don't necessarily agree with, but we won't discuss that right now. So she did that, and then they come back and say, yeah, we have the votes in the bag. So then a delegation packed up from Jamaica and from the US, and they went to Kigali in Rwanda, and them spend another boatload of money, 25.6 million Jamaican dollars for government officials to attend the summit. So what happened is that the Africans them look upon it and say, hold on there. If we keep Baroness Scotland in, we get it in 2 years. If we put the Honorable Kamina Johnson-Smith in, we have to wait 4. No, that don't make no sense. That and other reasons caused them to vote against them. So the whole Jamaican delegation disappointed because them got a figure party and everything like that. And I think them all take the ambassador from the US. Think about this Jamaican on the taxpayers' money. I pay for she go there and she have nothing to do with Commonwealth, and she gone party because the plan I'm hearing is that she was going to take over the Honorable Kamina Johnson-Smith's job in Jamaica as the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and the Consul General up in New York, she was going to take the ambassador position.
It was a plan.
Yeah, man, because the one up in New York, she and the Prime Minister, they're very close. Very, very close. In fact, she admitted to me that they speak almost on a daily basis, sometimes 2-3 times, right? So she come back, she lose the election. Since she's been back, I think she spoke about it one time. And what did she say? She said, I guess God didn't want me to leave Jamaica. So the question I started asking was, did she talk to God before she submit the nomination? And what did God tell her? Yeah, what did God tell her? Did God tell her, go ahead and do it, and then God change his mind? Or did God say, don't do it, and she disobey God? Or God never answer? I don't know.
The God when she attack, I must be bro devil, bro God.
Oh, bro.
And yeah, because I couldn't, God never wanted, bro devil never wanted her to leave.
All right.
I don't know other God she attack.
But here's where it gets interesting now. People start asking questions after that. And the Honorable Nestor Robert Morgan, he gave an interview and he said that they started asking about this $99,000 that was spent for her campaign. And he gave an interview, and some of the things he said was that he said the private people in Jamaica, reached out to the government to support the government efforts, and said yes. And he said, and we told them that we would be very happy if they would assist. But he didn't want to tell them who are the they people. They didn't talk about that. And he wanted to say, there's nothing on that document that says government. He's talking about the government, the document that they executed, that Fin Partners, the company that got the money to do the PR work. It's an American company. He's saying there's nothing on that document that says government of Jamaica, and there's nothing on that document that says anything about another government outside Jamaica. So he's saying it's between private people. It's between private people in Jamaica and this private company in New York to provide PR services for the Honorable Kamina Johnson-Smith. Now, keep in mind, she had a budget for PR already, and they have JIS. But that's not enough. Because them go, don't forget that job that you are. So some people go and put up the money, $99,000. No, that $99,000, it was spent. That, no matter how you slice it, whether you call it a donation or a gift, it was for the benefit of either Kamina Johnson-Smith, the Honorable Kamina Johnson-Smith, or the government of Jamaica, right? Now, if it's a benefit to the government of Jamaica, there is a circular number 17, dated June 10, 2013, coming out of the Ministry of Finance, and it's applicable to all public officials. And it says, all gifts must be reported, right? And it said, gifts must not be accepted as an incentive for hidden benefits, rights, or privileges to the donor, right? Gifts must only be accepted from reputable individuals and organizations. Ministries, departments, and agencies must use due diligence to ensure that gifts are not from tainted sources. Gifts may be in the form of money, services, physical assets, and consumable items, so on and so forth. And it says if the gift is more than 2 million Jamaican dollars, then, which 99,000 US dollars,
15 million.
right? So you have to fill out this form here. with them. This form you have to fill out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you look, this form say you must talk about who gave you the money, their address, the phone number, email, the amount, the purpose, type of service, blah, 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 all the way down. And it says recipient must sign. No, here's what happened. I filed because this went on, and then finally, I think a gentleman by the name of Duncan, he came out and said he gave some money. Grace Kennedy said they gave some money and another company. And then the minister was asked about other people. I think it was leader of the opposition, Mark Golden, who asked about the other donors, and him said, no, the other donors not give them not tell himself to call up them name. But in any event, that gift form must be filed with the Ministry of Finance. So I wrote to them and I used the regulations and I said to them, listen, I want a copy of the gift form. I want to know if the due diligence was done, and I want to know whether the gift was included in the estimates of expenditures, because those are the requirements. You must fill out the form, due diligence must be done, and the gift must be in the estimates of expenditure, and there are certain administrative procedures that must be followed. So I write to them now and say, I want copies of all of these documents. 100 days gone. Nobody answered to me. They're supposed to respond within 30 days. Last week, they sent me a response. The Minister of Agriculture sent me no response. But last week, the Minister of Finance and the Public Service sent me a response dated March 30th. And it says, Dear Mr. Rattigan, the Ministry acknowledges receipt of your ATI, Access to Information, application received via electronic mail on March 24, 2023. No, this is what them say, March 24, 2023, but I actually sent it to them in November of last year. And them said they never get it. And I sent them the original one I filed, but them move it now because they said them can't put November, because them put November, them gone 30 days. And I already threatened them that there are sanctions for not responding within a certain time period.
Yes.
If I believe that you're hiding the information from me. So them put March 24th, and then so them respond March 30th, 6 days later. It says, in your application, you requested documents in relation to the government of Jamaica's guideline for the acceptance of and accounting for gifts to the government as it relates to monies received towards the campaign of Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith as Secretary General to the Commonwealth as follows. 1, I asked them for acceptance of the gift form that was submitted concerning the 99,000. 2, the due diligence report detailing the sources of the gifts. And 3, evidence that the gift was included in the estimates of expenditure and the additional administrative procedures were followed. Here is the one-line response, the real response I'm giving. Please be advised that no NO documentation exists within the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service to satisfy your request.
What?
That means that them never file. Them never file.
Then that break law right now.
And here's the thing. No, the question is the $99,000 because the minister Robert Nesta Morgan come out and say, Minister Kamina Johnson, she have nothing to do with it, and the government have nothing to do with it, and blah blah blah. Okay.
It's supposed to file.
No, but here's the thing. Take a look at that.
Yeah, come over. Yeah.
Look at that.
Yes.
You see where it say name of foreign principal?
Yes.
Who for name there?
Can I fear one, Camilla.
Kamina Johnson Smith.
Yeah, Camilla, right? Yeah, man.
Look right, that's the way it said. Look at number 7.
Yes.
Indicate whether the foreign principal is one of the following: government, blah blah. Look on the yellow marking. Where it says
it's individual CM
nationality Jamaica.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So what Finn say is that listen, the person we have conveyed this benefit to is Kamina Johnson Smith. And she's an individual, not the government. So the question the question is, but she did it she's in her official capacity. So she have to file 2 places now. She have to file with the Ministry of Finance, and she have to file with the Integrity Commission.
Yes.
And she should have filed the last day in March. And me guarantee you say she no file. So
she not file March,
no, she no file. So here's what me plan to do now. I am going to file a mandamus writ in the court, and I'm going to ask the judge to force her to come forward and explain if she filed and why she didn't file. Because my based on what them tell me, she didn't file. So I'm going to say she didn't file, and under the law, she's supposed to file. So we want to know where is the filing. So I put it out there now because you want to know, them can't do all them want to do. This letter where this woman tell me said no file.
Can she said no file, you know? And them me tell lie. Let me tell you them say, can them lie? Them go in the back and come and say them fine, say it file. Can them have tentacles, them have some people are working on something and them a backstamp thing. Can them is criminal.
But here's a message.
Yes.
The message is simply this, is that we're trying to hold people accountable.
Of course.
We're trying to hold people accountable. And I'm hoping that with your lawsuit, with this I'm going to file, that people will be inspired and more people start doing this and hold the government accountable. Because here's what happened. You will never hold the government accountable by asking the government to be accountable. If you ask them and say, tell us, be accountable to us, they will never be. You have to get the courts on your side. So this is what we're talking about, doing something to address the problem. No, people might say, oh, it's a minor matter. No, it's not a minor matter.
Not a minor, no.
Not a minor. And if it's a minor matter, can you imagine what them do to the major matter?
But it's a minor matter.
It's not a minor matter.
No.
It just shows that you can't trust them. And it just shows that them think that them above the law. Them can't just violate any law and nobody now ask a question, nobody not care, and them just do what them want to do. Well, we just want to tell them something. The day of being willy-nilly, the days of acting as if you don't have to respond to anybody, those days are over. Because we have some more when we have a file. Because me have some more. Me have a file.
Because we not play with you, you know.
Me have file. Two me have a file next week. Two.
Let me hear. More lawsuit coming.
Let me interject here. One of your listeners is saying we ought to recruit 10 to 100,000 Jamaicans to commit to giving $100 annually and form a legal fund. And that legal fund would hire, say, up to 500 attorneys, right? Doesn't have to be in Jamaica. It can be within the Commonwealth or the Caribbean, CARICOM. That can come from the outside and present cases in Jamaica itself. Can you imagine such a fund? If we could bring prosecutions to bear, right? But I think that's dependent on the cooperation of the DPP. But coming to where you can actually put a lawsuit in to force these people to do their jobs, do what they're supposed to do.
But Herb, the DPP herself, she's supposed to go home by September, and she too, she forget file up and all kind of things because she do a lot of things stand up in the way like a stumbling block, for protect, the government and the interest, and that is true. She almost stand up in a people neck,
Yes. It's an independent judiciary arm, Wayne. They're not independent of the government. They're doing the job of the government. They should be representing the needs of the people. They should be the voice of the people, but they're not doing that. And that is a problem.
Sorry to cut you. You miss Trish Newman say she had she first to donate the funds in the herb. You need to set up the thing.
Yeah, you need to
set up
an account. Yeah.
A good cause. You need to set up that, yeah?
Yeah, we need to get together. We can't talk about it.
And I tell you, we'll get it off to a good start. And then every listener far and wide, if you can get more than $100, you do it. We need
well, Ratty, a liar.
Well, you know what we need to do? We need to set up an account like maybe a charitable organization with an account.
Yes.
And have the money go there. And I will put not 100. I will put the first $1,000 in that account. I'll put $1,000 in that account.
When you hear this, we don't know, so we're going to second it and
exactly. Yes, because I'm on board with that. I'm on board with that.
So hear this. It is set up, but when I use Ratty, we have to get lawyers from overseas because we can't trust nothing from down this. So we know so we have to fly them in and do what we are doing.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
You understand?
Watch out, a very dear friend of mine just said to me, am I campaigning for the PNP? That campaign, you know, that campaign for the people. That me campaign for the people.
So well on. So ask a very, very good friend if you really want what Andrew destroy the place. So on a campaign, if you have government to come in and promise, remember play the first 100 days and remind you what Andrew say, because you know, if you say, you know, you're campaign for what? It's not a campaign, man. I could just remind you something. Let me say I can remind you something here. Well, I'm going to remind them something, Ratty. You have to hold people accountable. Andrew himself said, and tell me to hold people accountable, you know.
But not him.
well, no, but why do him justice? Himself to hold people accountable. And that no one play first and then I play him 100 years. So I mean, I understand people because you can't under sufferation. And when you hold them accountable, you have somebody that says something else, because when it says something else now, it make you think, so then, okay, so no one, a matter of fact, see what private sector say, let me play this first. Look here. Look at this.
And about another election promise, reducing crime so that you can sleep at night with your windows open. Why make comments, you know, just for the sake of running your mouth if you're not going to do anything about it?
As for the National Security Minister, Dr. Horace Chang.
You saw who that at the private sector, one of them from the private sector. So you hear, let me just play it back again. Another so what talk
about another election promise, reducing crime so that you can sleep at night with your windows open. Why make comments, you know, just for the sake of running your mouth if you're not going to do anything about it?
As for
so, the other one, you know, look at
the National Security Minister, Dr. Horace Chang.
We signed an accord with civil society and opposition and government in power called CMOC, Crime Monitoring and Oversight Commission. But the Minister of National Security doesn't attend the meetings.
The businessman reasoned that crime and violence had made Jamaica very unattractive, not only for locals, but foreigners as well.
And we can't blame anybody, any young person or any poor person who wants to leave.
And with over 900 Jamaicans murdered so far this year, Mr. Mahfood said civic society must put pressure on the political leaders to find solutions to address crime and the other social issues in the country.
That's the only thing politicians hear, is when you publicize things, when you say things in public. We Jamaicans like to whisper because we think that when you talk and you whisper and you tell them your opinions privately, it means something. It don't mean nothing.
All right. So where you hear from that now?
So,
you hear from that?
No,
if
but
you talk to them in a private, you know mean nothing. Them when it like this what we are doing now, it means something.
Yeah.
Because we expose them and we go after them. Yes, Ratty.
No, and you say something all the time, you know. You say in depending on the context, it don't make sense you go back and start criticize other governments and this, whether it's jail.
One government at a time.
This is the government that we have to hold responsible. What happened already in the past, but we have a government now that we can hold responsible. So the idea is that if you criticize, and let me make this clear to my dear friend in Jamaica, make it clear to you that when I criticize this government, I'm not criticizing this government for people necessarily get rid of the government. I'm criticizing this government to highlight the problem so that the government can fix the problem. Because the election over 2020, and I am in full support of whoever is in charge of the government after the election. And this government is there. And so I'm in support of the government, but at some point you can't just support willy-nilly and blindly. When you say things not going right, you have to say, no, man. No need for change in the act. You need to do a course correction. Yeah, you have to do
them feel. And
you have to do a course correction.
We're not no friend.
Because if you really care about the people of Jamaica, then you don't worry about, you know, what politicians say, oh, you know, you're playing partisan politics. No, if you were doing what you were elected to do, then there wouldn't be a criticism of what you're doing. If you had controlled crime, you said you're going to make people sleep with them windows and doors closed. If that happened, you think we'd be out here talking about crime right now? If people could walk the streets freely, you think we would be talking about that? No. When you talk about housing, education, infrastructure, medical, when you talk about all of them things and you don't do them, what we supposed to do? Just sit back and just not say anything? And when you say something, people say, "Oh, you're campaign for the PNP." Or, "Oh, you're
the business what them want to say, Bratty. Look here.
Them people are making
thinking Jamaicans should raise their voice in concert against the high levels of crime and against the government. All well-thinking Jamaicans should raise their voice in concert against the high levels of crime and against the government in not doing enough in concert.
Right, so who that talk now? Who that what we are do? How am ask you for do? Well thinking Jamaican for
that's who we are. That's who we are.
Yeah. No, that we are do for him.
We're good for the goose. We're good for the goose, good for the gander.
Same way.
Yes.
We not around for them.
Yeah, but
you think him can come tell me something and then we now use it and hold him accountable? And him tell me for hold him accountable and that we are doing around here. And here my food say, when you talk in public, them no business about that. When you talk like this now, and them know say we're powerful in the diaspora, you know, we not around put them in a ratty. Them know say some serious brother around here, say, you know. when we talk, we not take chat, you know. None of we around here not take chat. You know what? Them sit down and I think what we're gonna do. And them I'm ratty, they know so they can't buy way out neither, you know.
No.
So it no make no sense.
No.
It no make sense.
No.
Hold them accountable. Him say it and that way I do.
That is true, but when what the food says is true. They're talking amongst themselves in quiet, but they're not gonna come out there and criticize the government for the government to know that they are talking about them. They are not, but they are talking amongst themselves in private. So he's making a valid point. When the poor man talks up now, they arrest them. But those same guys in PSOJ are talking about the government behind their back. They're talking about them. So it is good that this platform speaks about them whether they like it or not. And like you said, it's one government at a time, and one cannot concern themselves with what the former administration did. That's done and gone. But what is
7 years,
now
ma'am.
is of consequence to now.
7 years, I'm almost hold them accountable.
But they're the ones who are there now. But you know what is frightening is the level of their arrogance. You know, there's no humility. No one has any humility. It's just like you cannot talk to them. They're unreachable. They're untouchable. You know, they're just arrogant about everything.
You want arrogance? All right, let me show them, Ratty. Your brethren just talk and I can show them arrogance now. But just look on these people. I can show them something. Just watch this. We just talk, man. Watch this.
True or false? Opposition leader Mark Golding was a member of the Senate.
These are the opposition when the opposition attack, not this one. I can show them arrogance now. Just watch this. I'm going to find the right one. We're going to play that one, yeah? Okay. See it now. I'm going to find this. Hold on. Watch this now.
I saw the Prime Minister saying, Rattigan. Me have to laugh. The man take bad things, make joke, you know. My name is really Hasburn Ellis. Me I go pop in one morning, they say, just black out like a... I'm drop on a bridge and the bike drop on my leg bone and burst it. Van take me up and carry me go to university and immediately emergency, right?
People, may I show you how the Prime Minister desperate and love yous. See, at the Prime Minister, the office of the Prime Minister seal that on the right hand side. The seal. Just listen. All right, look.
But the doctor say the bone crack up and by and take out the splinter them, the bone them, they're far from one another, right? Severe broke foot, right? Out of bad comfort good, you know, because I got to the observer, you know. As some say me get to make this little one room here, you know, friend, right? And when me block it up and everything, upon cardboard me there now, me get my own page now and have my own little account. So me couldn't hear but start expand, you understand? I wouldn't mind get some tile, cement, the plumbing work, the electrical work to go on. I wouldn't mind get little support with them there now. See there, a long way to go. So I saw me send out, you know, and say, Mr. Wellness, boy, me respect you, you know, man. You know what I mean? To a situation where me need little attention, man. So, my place burnt down 2 times and me really no have no comfort. So if you can assist, you know, man, I would be grateful, you know, right?
How are you this morning?
Not too bad, brother. Give thanks, man.
How did your surgery go?
Yes, man. Right now, me to go back Thursday there tomorrow to make the doctor them inspect it.
No, I saw your appeal. Said that I should reach out to you and give you some assistance.
People want to listen this good, you know. The Prime Minister of Jamaica just listen good. Now play, just watch.
You don't know me grateful, man. Right? Sure, man. I pray for thee, man. You know, man. He's strong and stay strong, you know, my brethren.
Always, always.
Health is wealth, dear, my friend.
Look here, I take it serious, you know, boss. And I encourage all Jamaicans to take their health very seriously.
All right.
Yeah, you know, you can't let stress and difficult times get you down. But listen to me now. I use one of your phrases, Radam.
Yes.
And you said to me, I heard you on social media, you said, Prime Minister, you see like how you use Radam, you should come and give me a little thing. And I say, it's true, you know. Our creatives are so ingenious. The term that you have come up with communicates exactly what I wanted to communicate to those persons who are involved in crime. The government is going to put harsher penalties on you as a deterrent. Now, that is the essence of Radam.
Mr. My brethren, when you say it and how you say it, you don't know me laughing, you know. No, you have to laugh, you know, you hear me. But that man, you know, Radam, you know, right?
But listen, you are a very creative person. I want to enlist your support in talking to some of our young men in particular who are being drawn into a life of crime and deviance. I have seen some of your stuff where you have explained your own life story and things that have happened to you. And I want to encourage you to use the audience that you have captured by your unique ways of expressing things to direct them in the right path.
You don't know me proud of you here, my brother, because right now the amount of calls you get from England, America, Canada, say, Dread, me that go rob and kill, you know. I want to listen to you, me couldn't do it again. And I said, that's good, my brethren, man. Whoever hears to hear, let them hear. And whoever eyes to see, let them see. But some still hear the truth and know the truth, and if then they can hard their act against it. And woe be unto them, you know.
Woe be unto them.
Yes.
But you keep talking positive. You know, make sure that what you are expressing is fit for everyone to consume. Make sure that you are giving always a positive message and that you are taking care of your health, because ultimately that is your wealth. I saw the situation of your housing as well, and we're going to make some arrangements to assist.
Your guide and keep here, my brother.
All right, Osborne, a.k.a.
My brother, man.
Peanut Dread.
Thanks, man, to hear your voice here, King, man, and your attention here.
All right, bless.
Good.
Cool.
PM, I appreciate the towards the attention towards the little building here. Because I really need some comfort, you know, seeing King. Yeah. And I pray for the, you know, the Rastafari guide and keep saying.
Office of the Prime Minister, yeah, watch. So may I show you. This, I usually try to use peanut bread too, you know. So you tell him, say, you watch him thing on it, and him a go on good, and him just keep it same way. So make me hear the good way peanut bread did I go on with now. Because I want to hear how good peanut bread is. You can't, you know, but hold on, let me just see that one there first.
You know, give me figure, go give a bumbo clock peanut and pick up when I want and come home. Right? But me walk and sell, buy. Me give you money for put down. And bust man for bust me blood clot and you have that, you know. But if you think you're bad, try that blood clot. Because I'm ready for them, you know. Right? Because why the blood clot system have support? Because the money enough in front food. You can't put paper and metal in front bumbo clot food. Food is life. You cannot survive without bumbo clot food. So how you going to put paper and metal in front food? Eh? Now when you create the problem and come tell me to chat fucker. Go talk to the leaders, you know. Right? Help me. Stop sell water, stop sell land, and stop sell food. And free up the blood clot people and top crime. Right? So I not fight the beggar, I not fight the thief, because me a beggar, me a thief, and me lie and bad mind and believe in I'm gonna walk up there, I'm not good. A bumbo class.
Well, we play about the part there. No, And the Prime Minister ambassador this for teaching you walk up your bad mind and thief and lie and walk up your not gonna no good. Well,
I fight the thief because me a beggar, me a thief, and me lie and bad mind and believe in I'm gonna walk up there, me no good. A bumbo clot, and if you do them, me and you can't be friend. Cause that the leaders them a do. Them is mechanical man. We call them occult secret. Large man, them half of them are ghosts and half of them are human being. And they have them jail and prison and gun and police and soldier. We beat the people them and shot them and kill them to hear what them say. So badness them a deal with the people them. No law business, no blood clot government, no diacom, no government, couldn't a government a country with man a fuck man. And you know hang him. So Batman government, me couldn't hold to me sense me a bumbo clot vote in a boy. For me born, me never do it. A pussy clot. Me not vote for a Batman. We have Legban and Batman in country. How do you say my leaders? But governing can't even govern a plate of bumbo clot food. All the wickedness where the people them do, me can't blame them. Who do it? Now the system now play away now. You see we are in bondage. You see we in a captivity. If a man make money put in front food, no bad prison that you in a love. Where you go get money? You have money machine. You can't plan money. A man head tap the bumbo clot fruit tree them in. Now you not hurt. They're in charge with nothing. Now share with share like how we heard share with you. Human being fit dead by the blood clot million yard chat, you know. See? You think me man, woman and child fit dead by the million. No, you know them nasty, dirty, stinking, wicked bumbo clot. Right?
No, at the embassy that is not done yet, you know. And remember, you know, at the Prime Minister office, may I show you how careless the Prime Minister was for do a thing like this. Right? Prime Minister, are you do this? When they know? When they? I've got to show me, I've got to finish you. Oh, see me? Look here now. You can't go on a plate of food, but look here. Look here now.
The root cause, organized violence from gangs, is always trying to push up the murder rate. It is a continuous struggle, but we are building the capacity to overcome the gangs in a sustainable way. We are going to radam the criminal gangs. The original Mr. Radam is here with us. Peanut Dread.
That an embarrassment to Jamaica. Yeah? You have a Prime Minister. Now play one more thing. You have a Prime Minister. Yeah? Go for this man. Figure teach you. Who for kids? Who for youth him talk to? That are the positiveness? These are the positiveness, Ratty?
Never.
I want to see that peanut here, you know, because I have to play it. So this, I have a friend that never play this, you know. I have a friend that never play this. Yeah, man. Let me see
Aye,
that.
man. See it.
Let me see that one, yeah.
Aye, man.
No, not that one. Not that one, the Ratty. The other one, I look for with peanut, you know. Yeah? Let me see that one, yeah. I look for the other one with peanut red. To go play.
No, the one I look for.
You know the one I look for?
Mm-hmm.
I look at Messiah, so. Because this now, if you tell me now if a Prime Minister like this, watch him and the good message. Yeah? See, I'm a matter of fact, see that? Look here. The good message, the great message.
You stinker. You fucking bad mind bitch. Make it look like you not get no comfort, you not get no pleasure out of fuck. Yes. And me alone want to fuck and like a favor you grant me. You want to kill your blood clot, you think of your pussy. God give you my things to keep for me. I'm ready for me things. What you want me to beg for? Me I demand that bumbo clot unless me no want it, you know. Kind of fear. God give you to keep for me and my blood clot one. I'm ready for me things that don't give me no trouble, you know. Like you want me to satisfy your needs and your demands and all them pussy clot before you give me things. That way I do. How you do and I broke my arm, bro? You believe me, you know the joke with my arm, bro? Somebody dead for blood clot or me I go to prison. What? Oh, you beg your pussy. Unless your pussy shit for blood clot till we get to you know. But when you sit down, give me no trouble, you know. Because I want me things. I just surrender and give me blood clot things, you know, because you know see my one, you know. Simple. I don't want bumbo clot give to me like you want me obligate to you and beg you. You want me cut your blood clot throat, where you do?
Same way, go. Same way, go.
Go to no beg pussy what you demand for. I me kill out your pussy clot. You think me can back face?
Back face.
Is a crack pipe that the man has smoke?
I'm like, when I never, I must say weed or something. But me I try to show you, say, this how the Prime Minister now. To your brethren, you just, or the sister, you just write to your good friend. Where might say, yeah, campaign. These are the carelessness of the Prime Minister. I tell you, say, the people them when gonna want to use peanut dread now to talk to the people them in the people them pitney. To teach them the righteousness. This look like a man righteous to go talk to your kids them or your grandkids them, brother. Eh? And him watch it, him say him watch it. Him watch it. And him keep on doing the good thing. Them are good. It's a shame and disgrace. Eh? And you radam the criminals. And look how much people get shot off a bike and all kind of things right now. You radam the criminal. Eh? In a parliament with a bag of foolishness. Like parliament is a joke thing and people like a joke around here. Eh? Look for your ambassador. I don't think for me show this narrative, I don't think him call him back, you know.
Him get a somebody give him 100,000 gift.
The Prime Minister, what happened to the Prime Minister?
No, I don't think the Prime Minister, I don't think he will get invited to none of the cocktail party them and things like that.
Him now, but I carry him.
No, I don't think so. What do you think, Herb?
I sincerely believe that the Prime Minister wanted to lift this man up. But the fact is, if him have intelligence-driven investigations, the intelligence and this one is missing.
One pan of herb. Same over Bernard.
Look, Morgan should be fired.
Of course.
Because him is the one, and him is the information minister. And all of this should be coming through his portfolio. So it just seems like he was asleep on this one. Well, it's embarrassing.
Well, them sleep on my request though, so I mean them consistent with that, you know.
Yeah. So what we're not lodged to. Don't we say a clansman in the house and I sell the land them and gang and the police. The intelligence that them have, that the intelligence whether I can work with it. It will make people invade the place and all kind of thing happen. And yes, still is a woman side of the Prime Minister where I share the principal for the school in the constituency, in a theme constituency.
That's where she come from.
Yeah, then she down there. And yes, still she down there. Yes, still him tell we. Say a gang sell the thing. I'm gonna hear nothing else. He give back the girl the same spot where she'd have built her house. And I put it up say a responsible government. Yeah, the same piece of land because she pay feet. And me that do know. Me that simple. If gang sell it, me that send go buy and me that know who. Undercover cap me, I go send out some other people and go buy and get one and get information so me can go pick them up. Simple. And Google cannot do that. Me stay and me sit down and me see them go on with the thing down in the what name Transport Authority. And me call and me tell the man we ain't tell me for call 600,000 for something for 85,000. One of the road license for the bus. Me tell him me have two. He man tell me don't know what seat in the bus, and him not even that pick up in the car. I say, how much seat in the bus? Me I say, how much again? Car boom back him now. Well, the one with the back door 32 in and the other one have 30. Me say yes. And the one with the old car. He might tell me, cause you know my brain when me working, me just work, just a move, And he must say, who get the number again? And I say, but him and I spend money, boom boom, and give him something, and the money him want here, Boy, I can't take off. 50. So me give them for 550 each. And 50,000, something for 85,000. Me still have to pay the government 85,000. But me have to give him 550,000 to get the road license. And it are going same way. And the big boy with them let go. The one with the belly dance and snake dance. And them, I can tell you, the one of them involved in this is a scheme. Over $1 billion they make off of this, I can tell you, and the millions them, Snake dancer and belly dancer and the one of them. No me boss this man. And enough of them case I'm a boss, you know. And then I call back some other people and hold them on the same case. So what them do, them come out and start advertise now and I tell you how much money you have to pay. You see me I say? You know, see me have the whole document I show them. Remember me not just talk, you know. Come me have the documents from inside. See? And I can show you who and who sell and what them sell and everything. Them have a next one where the name Newman. Him used to just go there as him like. Him not supposed to run no taxi because them charge him for a 12-year-old too, you know. Plus them charge him for selling things, you know. In the court, you know. But him there and him a president for something. President for what? The man for go, man. So me have to bust them 1 and 2 too, you know, so we don't run down this, you know. We hold them accountable, you know. We hold them accountable. At this them afraid of. Where is Ratty?
Switch gears a little bit. I mean, I still have to come back and discuss that now, you know, completely, comprehensively. Yes. But the government under the leadership of Minister Malahou Fort established the Constitutional Committee to look at the Constitution and decide what kind of amendments they're going to make. And interesting to note that I don't think they need the opposition because they have the votes, I think, to deal with it, to pass whatever they want to pass. But on this committee, I'm being told that it's called the Constitutional Reform Committee. There's a Canadian. Yes. They invite a Canadian to come sit on the committee. And my understanding is that that Canadian gentleman is not a Jamaican citizen. My understanding is that him don't have no connection at all to Jamaica. His name is Richard Albert, a professor.
Yeah, a white Canadian, yes.
Yeah. So now, let me ask a question now. We don't have a Jamaican who can, in Jamaica, forget about overseas, because we have enough people overseas. We don't have a Jamaican in Jamaica who can sit on this committee and do the same work what this man is going to do.
Of course.
We don't have a Jamaican in the diaspora who can come and do the same work what this man is going to do. So how him get selected? What was the mechanism? What was the process?
Them not sure we. Them not, we don't know. Them just go catch them friend and catch somebody that's about give a job, you know, so pay something. And that them do. Because them supposed to come to the people them with all these things, Ratty. Them not talk to us. And good thing you did, we have to point out all of these things, we have to hold them accountable. A matter of fact, my plate, you know, the government, a matter of fact, Andrew himself say we have to hold them government accountable. And that we are doing so.
Herb, you hear about it?
No, that's
me see them.
It just occurred to me it might be part of the ganja deal when they bring the Canadian ganja down. That Albert come with it. You know what I mean? You know, that's
But you know, this is a slap. This is a slap to the face of Jamaicans in Jamaica and outside the diaspora. That you go and tell me you go and bring a Canadian to come to Jamaica to talk about reforming the Jamaican Constitution. You don't have nobody else, no Jamaicans anywhere in the world who can do it, except Professor Richard Albert. That make any sense? Jamaican people don't need to wake up, man.
But them have a lot of professor UWI too, you know. But them take, and them have the law school, them have everything out there. But them take Richard Albert to come in.
Yeah. Okay. Even if you want to take somebody from one of the CARICOM countries, our region, and say bring one of them. And remember, you know, it was Mr. the president of the Senate, Tom Tavares Pinson, who said that we have qualified jurists in CARICOM. Yes. We have qualified jurists.
He said that, yes.
Yeah. So how come now we can't find no qualified jurists in Jamaica, in CARICOM, in the diaspora, but we'll find one in Canada? No, we need to ask them question now. Who is this man? What's his agenda? What is he being asked to provide? How will he provide it? Is he being compensated for this? And if not, why not? Why just decide to just give him services for free?
No, how much? What is his package deal? Because him now come do it free. So him have film one business and then come to Jamaica come do it free. You have your film package deal big so. most of the time when them give these people, them want some blowback money,
Yeah, but
Yes.
to take it a step further, even if the man say, look, I'm doing this for altruistic means, I'm doing this out of the goodness of my heart. We have Jamaicans who can do it. We have Jamaicans who can do it. Tell me one thing this man specializes in that you don't have a Jamaican anywhere in the world who can say, listen, you can reach out to him and say, come back home and come help your country.
Yeah, one of the things I would say, a Jamaican is running the Southern District of New York.
Yes.
Federal Prosecution District.
Yeah.
A Jamaican is the deputy what's the deputy attorney general for civil rights.
Oh yeah, she come from Brooklyn. Yeah, she used to go till the high school. Yeah, I know your talk. Yeah.
So we have lots and lots of talented Jamaicans right here. There's a Jamaican by the name of Nelson too at American University who run the law school program, right? So we have Jamaicans all over the place.
Herb, if they want to talk about crime and violence and stuff like that, Bagger Wilson there.
Yes.
Bagger Wilson there. They can use Bagger Wilson.
Yes. Yeah, and he's semi-retired right now.
Yeah.
So they can pick his brain and bring him in. And he was provost at John Jay College of Criminal Justice, right?
Yes, indeed.
He went to John Jay.
Yeah, he used to be my football coach at one time. He was my professor at one time too. You know,
yes.
But them not pick people like him. Them go all the way to Canada and pick this man now for come sit down now and talk about Jamaican Constitution.
Well, it brings me back to a comment I made one of these weekends, and that is these people actually look down on members of the diaspora and members in CARICOM. They look down on CCJ. They don't believe that it meets their standards. And then you ask the question, what standards do they have? Right? They're lying, cheating, and stealing. So if that's the standard they have to meet, maybe that's why so many good people get exempted. The bottom line is we have the talent. And we need, more than ever before, we need to project some strength, and we need to put this non-profit legal agency together so we can say, hey, we're going to work things out on behalf of Jamaicans.
I was just going to come back to that, Herb, because I was going to say, in retrospect, the lawsuit filed by the people from Barbados and the recent verdict.
Yeah.
That will cause reverberation in Jamaica,
Yes.
That will cause reverberation in Jamaica.
I'm sure he's probably asked the Attorney General and others to study that case.
Right.
See where they may have weaknesses. Right? Since they're going after people's property. And the case right now has to do with our good friend, Make We Talk.
Oh, yeah.
Where he's introduced this case. Woman has what? 5,000 acres, I believe. And they're trying to take it away from her. They come up with all kinds of signatures and paperwork that the woman never authorized. And they went to the woman's kids on her own property. And he's now charging them 600,000 Jamaican dollars a year for lease agreement on the property.
And I'm tell you something about property now. I know a lady right now in Clarendon who then build so much thing out. All part of the highway run through her property.
Yeah.
Part of the highway run through her property. Yeah, part of the highway. The amount of land and then build estate on her property and everything. She have the whole thing, her husband die. She have her whole thing and them just go down. And politician too. Grab up her land and everything. That need to sort it out. Right now.
if you ever open the program up to people who have lost property, to private individuals, private enterprises, and to government in Jamaica, it may shock you how many people out there are going through trial and tribulations with them. But when we hear all these cases and we realize that people are being disenfranchised, and the same government that is supposed to protect you it's been done through a government agency, allowing them access to be able to stab you in the back, take what they want from you, and leave you high and dry. So
they just take the case in St. Thomas. One man get around 2,000 acres, and we just ask, how him come about, forget this. Him them, and like him come from the, you just go down there, run the election, go up the front the election, and in a space of no time, you have over 2,000 acres. You have ball, your money can't do this, your money can't do that. But you own the whole of the eastern part of St. Thomas, all the sea too. The man about out same own. People born on 500 acres of property. When me hear that, I say, well, I'm not going to property. Other man, where him get this from? Over 2,000 acres of property, man. Land, man. And the whole of St. Port and them going with it too, man. We're on the Blue Lagoon.
Yep.
Them and them friend, them need to investigate it, and people have to get back them things from them and everything. And if them put in any bogus paper in there, them to go to prison for these things.
Yep.
Them need to go to prison for these things.
Wayne?
Yes.
But you know something? If the Integrity Commission was doing its job, all of these things would have been sorted out.
Them can't do the truth.
But they're not doing their job.
No, tell the truth, sis. Them and tie. Because if them are try to do them job now, and you see them are try get rid of them.
That's exactly the point.
You know, them act independently. But them cannot, because you have them politicians you are going like them a dictator.
But wait, if they were doing their jobs, and whatever conclusion they came to, and irrespective of wherever the chips fell, and they held those people accountable, this situation would have been resolved. But they can do the investigation, but it's really a sham investigation because nothing comes of it. Nothing comes of it, so it's not an independent body. It is there just to save face.
That is it. All of those government bodies, when say them do something, are the same thing. And Jamaica now going to move forward and take all of them accountable.
We have to get rid of the criminals because the foxes are watching the hen house.
So here we have now, Ratty. All right, so you have the expertise, right? In a law enforcement, and herb too, in intelligence and thing, and all right. So hear this now. We need at the force, we need the force need for clean up. Because I'm gonna tell you now next thing. You see the man them in the khaki clothes. You see every building where you see I go up and scheme where I run and them thing that Ratty. And the big man them get the security work, Them just send on the police vehicle, and them collect every month. So them are extort these people. One past commissioner make over 100 million off of one of the road. The police sit up on my program and talk about it. What happened to him? Him get for export ganja out of the place. Him are the first one get for export ganja. Them gone in a building and all kind of thing, nobody no trouble them. The police talk, show me all the documents. Me have it here. See? Them did want to lock him up, him have to leave. You understand? We do the story with him. Nobody do nothing to him. Him the on board right now. Past commissioner. It's wicked. Right now, the police, you have some people that have build place. No go that. When you go down and you have build place, remember, you have me, I'll tell you, say, yo, me need two of your property, two of your, if you build like apartment, me need two of your apartment, If you know, say, and you get the papers fast. Member of Parliament, I tell you the same thing. Them need two. So the amount of Parliament them have and the amount of thing them have, it unbelievable. These are corruption, them to go to prison for it. Them are hijack you, stick it, them, they are talking about, what them call it? What them call it, so the youth them are doing, extort. The big exec starter in the government. And the police force. Them extort everyone who are trying to invest their money and then them are blow back and keep back. And that's true. You can't get it from it. The one of them khaki clothes, they can just pint them out. They make money every month. Millions. And you go in the next place in a government again, up where you go learn to drive there. So them man that carry home like $1 million at a day. Them guy there, you know. Where you say I teach about driving, you know. The one of them make a bag of money over people. You see it down where them sell the license for the bus and everything. Billions them make. Again tired the whole of them. Billions. Them for go to prison now, man. And then you have some people that say, oh no, campaign where? You can have criminal government and nobody not talk about it. You're not idiot. You think we're there for joke with people? We're not there for skin teeth or we're laugh for serious. Yeah, man.
This is the government of the day, the JLP. And if the PNP wins election tomorrow morning,
they will be
held accountable just the same. So it's not a matter of campaigning for anybody. We have to address the issues of the day with the government of the day, and that happens to be the JLP and Andrew Holness. End of story.
You know, Maria, even it's funny that people say that we are campaigning for the PNP or we are show favoritism, because even from my program and even Lonesome's program, when PNP officials come on, you know, them get grilled same way. Same way. I can think of one.
We shouldn't even not do that neither because I'm not them.
No, but here's the thing. I remember one gentleman came on your program, former minister, and yes. he was criticizing some things going on in his former ministry. And I said to him, I pull up some facts put out by JAMP, the Jamaica Accountability Meter portal, right? And I said to him, I don't know if you should be the messenger for this, you know, because when you were there, you did some things too. And I read the thing, and he said, no. And I said to him, where you get your facts from? And I said, I got it from JAMP, a respectable and very opinionated organization, but based on facts. So I say, since I tell you this, go back to JAMP and tell them to correct the facts.
Yes.
Up to now, the facts are not correct. JAMP not change nothing, which means that he hasn't. So everybody who come round here, right, will face it. Will face questioning, but, especially government officials, because them have the purse strings now. Them have the power.
Remember, exactly. If you do a job and a man come and say me can do the job and me do what and me do this and that. By the way, you have the health minister, when you have an ex-health minister and the baby them die, him come out, them make a bag of nice. We have to have the tape. But by him now, no, me not take me. When him say him can't manage, when him say Ratty, because you blame dog, you blame pussy, you blame cat, you blame flea, you blame rat, you blame water.
Oh, can't blame Rattigan.
You blame nurse, you blame doctor, but not himself. It don't make no sense.
No, because he doesn't see himself, he doesn't hold himself accountable for anything. It's always somebody's fault. It's always somebody's fault. When is it going to be him? The buck stops with him. When is he going to say no something? The buck stops with me, and I should have been. It's not happening. It's everybody else's fault except him. So why is he there? What purpose does he serve there?
But him blame the previous minister and blame him. Yeah. So the baby them and blame him for chick V and blame him for remember mosquito and blame him for these things. But you must blame them for the virus for one and don't blame them for the dead baby and don't blame them. It can't work. You can't have it two way. It just can't work.
You know, a testament to the effect of your program and other programs like your program is that people are listening. And when I say people, not just the people from the poor people where we are represent, but also the government. Yeah, because I'm going to read you something that came out recently. Listen, it says, let me see the date on this. Make sure it's on all. It's today, Sunday, April the 2nd. And the headline is, "Not true. NEPA denies claims that government denied beach access locally." And it says, Chief Executive Officer of NEPA, Peter Knight, has dismissed as false claims being circulated on social media in recent time that the government is denying citizens access to public beaches locally. He said, we are not aware of any plans by the government of Jamaica to deny citizens access to Jamaica's beaches, declared Knight at a virtual press conference, blah, 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 blah. We never said that.
We never say it.
We never said that.
So, but tell me what? Them
must spin. We never said that. What we say is that you have private ownership that prevent people from hoteliers from using the beaches, and the government has the power of the pen to make the change. The prime minister can make that change, and nobody can take him to court. That's what we say. We never said the government had denied people access to it. We never said that.
We are talking about the beach and who own the land, and we are saying no, it's not court, and everyone's supposed to have. So when them do them like spinning up, and when them spin, when we talk, they sit down and them run and them talk something else. We notice, you know. We notice.
But you know what it is too? They want to absolve themselves of their role in all of this. Because it could not have happened that the private people are preventing the locals from accessing the beach. It had to come from the government. So they cannot absolve themselves of their role in all of this. So whatever spin they want to put on right now, it's not going to work.
Listen.
They are the critical part of the problem.
You should also remember that the minister who's mentioned in the regulations that is in control of that cynic's authority to change things is the prime minister, right? That's clearly established. So he can't come out and cover for the prime minister. He needs to let the prime minister speak for himself, because he's the man that told all Jamaicans you shouldn't have any problems accessing the beach, right? Imagine we only have access out of almost 500 miles of beach. You only have access to like 2.5 miles, right? And that is crazy. You know.
But down at Puerto Rico, where Rattigan say them have the day when Jamaican can go there. No, them look on Ziggy Marley and refuse him. What the government tell about this? What number one? Only if you pack up and come out of the country to him.
That's an international disgrace.
No, them pack up and come out of the country. Can nobody now put up with them?
Disgrace.
And that a racism and everything too, you know. Like Jamaica, you know, stepping on them shoulder. No, them realize, oh, he might have going to Jamaica.
But you know, Ziggy and his sister now parts of Jabem.
Yeah.
And Ziggy are now, participating.
Yeah.
Because of the issue with the Bob Marley Beach.
Yeah, he did an interview this morning.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, the intent was for the hotel to take over Bob Marley Beach. Right? So
you come on the night.
Yes, in the dead of night. Just like how these people like to operate in the middle of the night. But we're gonna have to make good on this promise.
Let me just say that to all of the naysayers and all of the people with criticisms and things like that, maybe you don't know, and therefore when you criticize and you make certain assertions, I have no choice but to accept it, because I'm going to accept it on the premise that you're ignorant. And ignorant in the sense that you don't have the knowledge base, and that's why you make these statements based on whatever pieces of information you've been fed. We have been asking the government to appear on our shows to answer the tough questions. I do it routinely every week. I send out invitation to ministers and say, come on the show and come talk, come reason with me. And by and large, crickets, they don't respond. Or when they respond and say, yeah, we're going to try and get a date. And then you never hear from them again. So we just want people to know, say, if them see a lot of so-called quote-unquote PNP people on the program, it's not because we only want PNP people. We want PNP people, but we also want UIC, which we had, and we want JLP. But the JLP people in power, they simply refuse to come. So what we have to do, the show must go on. So we have to take people who want to come.
Hey, but hear this again, Rattigan. We not even take the chat from them. They never see the minister. The most important minister come. What him tell we say? Him tell we anything good? We never see the minister of finance. So the finance ministry run the whole country. We
not
come
only
tell
that.
we say.
Not
He
only
don't
that.
want to speak out of turn because he don't want to attack him. Not that him say.
Yes, and not only that. You remember when I asked him about my filing under the Access to Information Act, he said, I will look into it. This is over a month, about a month ago.
A month ago, yes.
Yeah. And you saw me get the information. You saw me get the information.
Come to.
No, the only way we get the information was me threat the lady and say, look, you are the responsible person for providing this information. And the act says that if you fail to provide it and it's because you are denying me the information, then you're subject to a $500,000 fine and 6 months in prison. The woman must catch her afraid and said, no, sir, me now going to subject myself to this. Let me give me one quick. And that's how we get the stuff. The minister didn't respond. The minister didn't respond. And by the way, for those of you who watched the program yesterday, I'm going to have him back on, Professor Kenu Thompson. I'm going to have him back on, not this Saturday, the following Saturday. And we're going to break it down a little bit more. Yeah, we're going to break it down more so that the ordinary people, because one of the complaints, one of the complaints I get was that we were speaking in like academia language, and so the message didn't translate all the way down to the ordinary person on the street. But he pointed out that, in fact, see right there, sir, the new public sector compensation system. He said that. Well, he didn't say it. The finance minister said salary consultations with unions to conclude in 6 months. No worker will be worse off. Right? Him say no employee would be worse off, meaning that no employee's take-home pay would be less than what it was prior to the new system. And the professor went through an example where he showed that with a raise, you actually end up, in some instances, going home with less money than you used to, because them have something them call
the tax.
Upkeep. Them tax the upkeep, something called upkeep. It put you like in a different tax bracket, and when them tax that, you end up going home with less.
You get lower. Plus, none of these people have them helpers to go pay. Them domestic helpers, because some of them have them kids home and thing, and them have to go work. So you raise for them thing to 13,000 now. Most of them never make the money, you know. Out of for them pay now, them have to pay the 4,000 extra, you know.
Right.
So them will lose again on top of that. You understand? Them think we're idiots.
Jamaica, open up on the eyes, man. Open up on the eyes.
No, make them trickle now.
Yes, but you know something, I'm going to have to run in a few minutes. But here's the thing. Let me address something that Will just said about those who like to criticize. Don't worry about what is being done over here. We're good. Go and do what they want to do over there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What they think that's not being done over here, go and do it. We're not worried about what they want to. Just go and do it and keep just mind. We are minding our business over here. We're good with it. It's okay. Good. Simple as that. But I really have no use for critiques like this that are destructive, because we're trying to empower, educate, and entertain at the same time.
Good.
Don't come with this nonsense.
And them know we're not dealing with nonsense. You know, some I recognize them. I just will nice, will nice, because all right. Yeah, them say.
I listen to your I'm on your program. I listen to Jeffrey program. I listen to Rattigan program. What are they talking about? What are they criticizing?
I'm going to say something to you now. So Tom Tavares Vincent came on Rattigan program. I was there, Herb there, and we attack. And then him start attack the man then. And me have to grab him. You watch it, right? Because him start say, uno got up here, so him different. You think me don't know about this? Boomba, what you talk to him nice, and I talk to him nice, and I say, what happened to you? Are the man at the wilderness stage? I want him to this guy.
But wait, you know why he had to do that?
Yes.
Because for the first time he was being held accountable.
Yeah, because I asked him some things, and so me have to
But he couldn't run circles around anybody. That's the problem.
No.
He couldn't run circles.
We see more Russell urban talk. And you want to talk over everybody, and I say, hold on. You can't run, so what happened to you?
You remember one of the criticisms him leveled at me? One of the criticisms leveled at me. Him said, me have a zinc fence on my background, and that don't look good. Because people all over the world are watching it and see the zinc fence and think
the zinc fence there, Jamaica for 2 million people hungry.
Hold on there.
2 million
people.
Thank you.
That is my yard. See gate right I say no.
That's
my yard. This is my yard. And when we left there, I see him say, look, that except that oh my God. No, yeah. This never did it. That blue thing never did it. Yeah, but that it did it. That me left that. Me left that.
And it move. So what them want for the tell lie? Eh? Go on. So when me do it back, when him say to you, when him say, come on, answer. When you can't go and chat.
No, him say me should have. Him say, and I'm a virgin to a degree still, you know. But him said to me, him say me should have get a aerial photograph of downtown Kingston, and put it up nice behind me. So I said to him, so how about if me get one of your yard? I stand up in front of your yard about Cherry Gardens and take it. Him no answer.
So, no, but tell him. So when it's about loan, so can him come back on the show, come talk to me. I'm not come. If you come here, come talk to me, man.
No, man, him say you want to kick him ass.
If obvious him for come talk to me, man. Because you're a nice team and him just come out to that outburst, and I say, I want to you. You know, so the wedding kid when afraid they are so happy, you man. You can't do that.
He does, Wayne. Tom Tavares Finson does that because he's accustomed to carrying on like that and getting away with it. He came into a space that it was not going to be acceptable. No one is going to accept that behavior from him. No. So he didn't know how to handle himself. So he pushed back and he just carried on like that because, okay, who are these? Oh, I'm being held accountable. Nobody has ever done that. That's what happened to him.
But you know, Maria, you know, the thing is, I have a penchant for liking those people. You know, I get along well with them. For example, no, Tom Tavares Finson. I'll say it out loud. I talk to him quite frequently. You know, we talk about stuff and things like that. And I found him to be a very affable person. He can chat with and share a joke and things. But I understand where you're coming from. But no, loan some of a thing now for one of my good friend, you know. And it's the man who was the senior strategist, a communication strategist.
You mean Dennis?
When the police.
Dennis,
when the police.
No, me like Dennis, man. Me like Dennis.
When the police, but anyway.
You can't come for Ratty best friend like that.
No, man.
See, Maria. See, you know.
Them know that's the man I win in this team, you know.
By the time Lonesome done, all the Ratty friend them run the league.
No, but another thing can't pose like he can't come on but to come pose like him a police. Him a police. So I tell him straight. Him go through the school. No. You ask where you do. Oh, me educate. You know, go there so you don't know if you can shoot or nothing. So you will shoot at people in the street, then get your gun. Them should have lock up who get your gun and lock you up too. Yeah. You're not supposed to have no gun. You're fake police. You must know. You must know say I'm a fake police. So no me I'm a police.
Yeah, hold on 1 second, Wayne. I'm gonna have to run now.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Maria.
Great conversation. Blessings to Ratty and Herb and Wayne.
Likewise, Maria. Likewise.
All right, bless.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Yes, bye.
Yeah, man, Ratty. When we go tell him that, you know, he must say about you know. But him know for you, man, you're not police. You're all right otherwise. Just do your news and
yeah, but you come down hard on the man. You come down too hard. Man. No, I'm a virgin man. You like him, man. Like Dennis.
Man, Dennis, you're good enough, but you're not police. That just that me I tell you. You know? And the strategies thing, they don't make them put you in that, man. Don't make them knock you up there.
Let me ask both on something now. The Mr. Samuda, Minister of Labor, I believe, he went to Canada to inspect farm workers' conditions and the farms and things like that. And they trick him. And show him 1 or 2 farms where I run. All right, well, all right, him trick himself then. Yes. But him went back and him say him going to send over a group now, and him going to go now and do an assessment and blah blah blah, and him going to provide a report. Have you seen anything? Have you heard about the report?
Up to know, but I want money, taxpayers' money again. This is what them doing on 9 days, and them say boop and them come with them always have something, so them just stack it up. Same like how them stack up SSL, and you not hear nothing else. Of that, so we keep it alive. Like Patrick Bailey or the farmer education minister Him a doing farming and I said, and I'm all right. And have millions of dollars slump and you know you're nothing. When people are talking about, the government too corrupted, this is not what him promise. This is not what Andrew promise. You have to just start straight. The man is a 3 card, and a 3 card this. How much card in a deck? Can a 3 card man this? Around 52? Yeah. Him a the whole 52, around 50 yard in a deck. Him a them, the whole 50 yard. Him a the full deck. He can't be no just 3 card man, him a the full deck. Him dangerous man.
Well, you see, you don't need the full deck to act as any other card if you are the Joker.
Him a that too, him a 52. Him a everything in it. That's what I'm saying, the whole card.
Urban a rear farm tonight, man.
Yeah.
Urban a rear farm tonight.
What do you mean, man?
Then you're good. Look, Wayne, you said something earlier.
Yes.
That about senior police officer out east there.
Yes.
That's East Kingston, right?
Yes, East Kingston.
Yeah. And our theme this week for the Institute of Caribbean Studies was talking about human rights and the family. But we were keen on the youth, young people, right? And even though we don't have a lot of folks who set the example for young people, we have to still teach them responsibility. And one of the responsibilities that the lawyer from the UK came up with was the issue of, was it permission, Will?
Yeah.
Okay.
A consent. It was a consent?
Consent, yeah. Of what constitutes consent. And this was about sexual activity and who is able to give consent. But when it comes to an adult and a child, which is seemingly in Jamaica, they don't understand that part. The young children cannot give consent. But time and time again, pastor to young child, police to young child, right? Even the folks at the
teacher too.
The teacher to young teacher, counselor, all of them that in a authoritative position.
Yes.
Over the young child.
Both boys and girls too, you know. So let me just say this straight.
There you go.
Both boys and girls, them sodomize them. Yes, right? Yes.
And we see a case in Haiti that they're suing a reporter down in Haiti because they reveal the abuses of the Haitian Football Federation against young boys and young girls, right? But I'm here to tell you, we have never done a program on the Jamaica Football Federation. But there are stories that come to us here in the USA that talks about the abuses of some of our top women players as well as boys in the football system in Jamaica, right? Okay. And abuses of the funds that are provided in the football system. So it would appear as if the FID is asleep at the wheel, because a lot of this stuff should have been looked at from the financial side. And then the problem we saw in looking at the young people's sexual abuses is that the agency, I'm trying to remember the name of that agency in Jamaica, responsible for protecting the kids. When the police get a case, they simply pass it on to them. But the police has to be more accountable to investigate that case. Even though they pass it, they should be working in concert with that agency and do the prosecutions based on the agency's findings.
But you see,
yeah,
a lot of the police, them when you see, you expect them to do better and thing. Them a molest, some of them molest are them one daughter, like the one down at Clarendon, where the girl have baby and say she don't want to see her father. Molest her from she little bit so. And, right. and yeah, enough of them police are be a little school girl them go around with you, And the joke me I make, underage girl. So enough of them do it. Carry them all in a bunker, go in a with them in a station too. Your police carry a school girl in a station before. You understand? So them not have nothing about them neither. So, Jamaica just want to overall clean up, As a dad and super granddad, we there, Ratty there and Herb there, we not play with people. We just not play with them. And we are called, we just hold them to the truth, hold them foot to the fire. You understand? Too much youth get sodomized by the same set of police, them. You have politicians involved too, especially young boys. Young girl and young boys, alike. Them sodomize them. Politician, not a pastor, and other people in authority. Straight. Them continue to do these things. And you have some era leaders and some big old era chessmen do the same thing too. And that hurt us. And because, 2 million of them hungry. So a lot of things are going on.
Yeah.
You understand? Poor the little baby them. Look at the little 9-year-old one where our stepfather, so he mash her up and when him do her. For me to see that, so somebody close, you have the mother. Hey, someone for know when let me tell some mother, you say when I have no kid, when you start get children, when I look a girl child and think, when you be careful, man. I the little dirty man, them want to take up the father, the gone, man. Nobody come talk about no step away people walk pan, man. Them step and don't step that and step this. Step about the walk pan. You have to be careful of them, man. Them dangerous, especially you have a little girl child, them, man. And a joke me I make. You understand? Them dangerous. Look at the little 9-year-old girl. Where you could have wanted with a 9-year-old girl. You sit down and fantasize and kill her. And you have a mother. She lives in the same house because him couldn't let her go. Because me no know. Come on, man. All him. The man down a jail, them a joke to you, All him. Them think they're evil. The pastor them do the same thing and them a let them go.
Mm-hmm.
Pastor mash up a lot of people life in Jamaica and them let them go. You understand? Politicians do it too. Somebody just say, oh, Trish. All right, again, Tayan Kwe. Big up yourself. See? You understand? Them do it. And them get let go, by the way. File gone missing and them get let go. Yes.
But just look at this. This report dated March 4th of this year, where the police were investigating a number of cases involving pregnant 12-year-old girls.
And that me, I tell you. Eh?
Yeah. Pregnant 12-year-old girls.
It's crazy.
And them man, them in authority and some of the big area chess man and them think they 12-year-old. Eh? Them man are crazy, man.
But you see, the bottom line, Wayne, them have the DNA lab in Jamaica. That DNA lab should be running and keeping a record of all the underage baby mothers who deliver. And the DNA of the father. Because at some point, you might be seeing a lot of repetitions in the same neighborhood. At some point, that repetition might turn out to be a local pastor or police officer or somebody in authority in the school or somewhere. Right?
All of them do the same thing.
They've been getting away with it for a long time. So if the government doesn't listen to anything else we're saying, then protect your young kids by doing what is necessary and do your intelligence-driven investigation of this assault on our young kids. You have to do that, because they are looking, in some cases, I understand, girls get abused when they start asking for phone card, for them to add things to the phone. The boys, of course, they expose themselves to whether it's a coach or a
for the
teacher
professors,
them
lock up a lot of bathroom up there. Some of them UA students, and for them know man and woman too. Young people them and think for them judge and all them in the whole bag of fake from them thing. Up to UA, all of them thing are going all over the place. The doctor them a do it too, to them patient too, Doctors. Jamaica is a land of rapers, Yeah, man. You have to tell them as is, man. The big boys, them in authority. doing a lot of things where it out of place. Yeah? You have to say it in authority, man. You have to say it. But them get where, them not go prison, That just the little one, them, one and two of them catch. But what we talk as is, we not go wrong. Yeah?
There's a case where the pastor, his case was in the docket, on the dock for over 10 years. And then they finally come back there and let him go. Right? And nobody could understand why it takes so long to bring the case to court. And then now you're letting them go because of possibly insufficient evidence, or witnesses get paid off, or witnesses are missing and stuff like that. Right? So money I talk. Right? But the fact is that one case you had him on, in the interim, he might have abused 10 more people. So you do have predators out there that you need to shut them down. You need to protect our kids.
But Ratty, we see we're going to the tree. We have around 10 more minutes. But Ratty, when you see a 14-year-old give birth, and you see a minister pose up on a skin and a 32, them they're around 64. Yeah, they look enough. A skin teeth and take picture and say she never know. What a piece of lie, man. What an embarrassment. And like you can't change the picture, man.
It just shows the callous nature of these people, that them don't really care. Them do anything for a photo up without even double checking, or sometimes them double check and them just not care. Them still do it anyway because them get them picture out there. And it's just sad them do it at the expense of vulnerable people. Vulnerable people. What to the man, the white man who did come down and molest the girls, the one from Washington State, where they take him license, and
we don't know what him there now. But
how about that case there? How about that case? What am I do about that case? Nobody know you're nothing about that case.
About that one
because that is a case where U.S. law comes into play, and him can get up to 10 years. Right? So the question is, rather than give training to Jamaican police, why don't the U.S. ambassador in Jamaica, right there in Kingston, direct his Homeland Security investigators to go arrest that man in Washington State and make sure him go on trial, gather the necessary evidence and go arrest him? Because the U.S. prosecutes these things.
Yeah.
But if Jamaica don't present the evidence, they can't prosecute. It's that simple, So them have them favorites, with a lot of favorites running around there, and you make them abuse your kids, right?
We had a round robin. Basically, we are touch a whip subject, but I was looking for a document here. That lady, that I think she was a permanent secretary in Ministry of Education, the one who money missing on her.
$100 million gone.
Them search our house the other day. But I mean, why that take so long for arrest this woman?
It take you like $1 million years to search woman house after you send her home.
Yeah,
so she hide everything in there already.
Yeah.
And most can go see the computer. That makes sense? It makes sense?
No.
Craziness, man.
Them get enough time for destroy what you want to destroy. If there is information there that implicates her or somebody else, them get enough time for destroy the information. I mean, why? Look from when them send her home. I have the article here, but we just can't find it now. Look from when them send her home.
Them run and I put it. That's why I ignore it. Because I say, who not come trick? And we not trick, Because when them do them sit down and watch you and then they move, but them not trick we. Because we're bring up some case against them, Because enough of them will have up them to start go prison. And the joke we make.
Right? And the other thing I want to bring up is that how is it our Prime Minister can sit back, watch a lot time advisors and lot of ministers them feel if don't take action against them. And at the same time, you have a very damning report about his influence on contracts. And him still sit down there like nothing happen. You know, even though the prosecutor said, look, I have enough to prosecute you on one of these, you know, but I'm going to give you a break. You know, and him just sit on the same and just move on like nothing happened and then start saying, don't you trouble Zion and all of this nonsense, you know. And what was interesting was, if you remember, we asked the deputy mayor of Mobile, so how do you feel about an outer parish contractor coming into your parish and getting contracts to debush gullies and things like that? And him look like him was shocked. Him look like he was said, no man, that can't happen. No, that can't happen. But we never bother remind him. We never bother say to himself, but that's exactly what them accuse the Prime Minister doing now. Influencing a contract for a contractor in the Tower Hill area for come all the way at St. James.
In a lollipop constituency.
Figure debush gully.
Yes.
That's exactly what it happened. And it looked like he must say, no, man, that can't happen. We have plenty of people who can get that contract there. We don't have to do that. But, you know, it just shows the deteriorating state of Jamaica. And we have to continue the pressure. And, you know, I certainly won't yield. I'll just continue doing what I have to do. And I can think about 5 people where I have to put some lawsuit on, you know. And
that's what we know, you know. We tell them, so we not put them, you know. So they must say action. And when them answer with them, have to answer with what them say them never do this and them never do that. In the business what them want to say. We just beat them with what we have to beat them with. That's how it go.
Yeah, they got me look on the thing about Ziggy Marley and what happened. Them supposed to lock down that place there now.
It's supposed to move.
No, you see what now? Oh, Grace McLean. Thanks, Herb. I see it. Yeah. You know, no, this is what people need for the people need for join hands and heart and go and make a big stink about this. In front of that place, get your permit and go there. Go to get your permit and go there. Make them know. So right now,
in a Jamaica,
them no welcome in a Jamaica. Them no welcome in a Jamaica. And if a Jamaicans, the place need to shut down.
Ratty, you know what that's remind me of? That remind me of in the 60s now. When them used to white people, you can't go in on a bus, so you have to have your own black toilet and thing. And that them bring in a Jamaica. And this is where the government are telling about investment and more investment and a bit of pay concrete jungle, pay hotel around the place for our people who can go in and go clean them toilet. You don't go fit for go clean toilet and spread bed. Hey, them for go with that, you know, man. And like them come with some factories and talk to America and say, listen, no, they could build, you know, build car, they could build some things, no, half a plane, they could build the wing, no, build up the factory and they could build something, no, they could build some tire no, for roads or something. You know, going to something, they can manufacture things and sell it. No, you come tell people about investment. Chinese in there already, and them don't pay no tax.
Well, I know. And while I'm talking about investment, you have SSL.
Yeah.
Good. When dry money from? And we must talk. The man resigned from a one company. Can you imagine you have a big company, billions of dollars, and you say, I resign, you know. And nobody, if they want to talk to me, nobody, me not tell you, say them not talk to him. Nobody not talk to him or himself, none.
And that's why we know the FBI. And that's why we know the FBI are not really involved.
But,
that's why we know they're not really involved.
It's bad, man. It's bad. So when we hear them talk now, that's why I'm not pay them the mind, because you know, so when we are chopping it and not them, you know. So when them do them come and if them can pick around and them can't say it to me, you know, them no say. Them not gonna put it up here, say, you know. Them no say a straight ban. We not in that, we not chop to them. So them want pick around and send something to Ratty. Because Ratty nice, you know, Ratty alright. Ratty talking. Me not ramp, you know. Because I beg no friend for money. I'm just telling us straight. And Ratty, I know, but I feel so Ratty as half as, you know. Ratty just alright, him like me, we don't know, you know. Alright,
Ratty's a professional.
But you know, the man I will understand, no check for money. Oh, I just tell them straight. Yeah? Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's October that woman leave the Ministry of Education.
And I know them do the search.
I
when them do the search. March them do the search?
They did them March, yes. March.
Yeah, March 17th.
Months after.
Right. Yeah, 17, March 17, them do the search. Right.
It take you 5 months to get a search warrant.
Yeah, whatever information she have that was derogatory.
Yeah,
gone.
Everything and that's everything. You want, all right, you know want to say something? You want to know if them that's something? Let me just give them something here, so. Let me say I can't give them. Let me give them something fast. You remember this? I want them to know about this. Let me go into something fast, because the time I run up. Look on this.
So this now is a press release for immediate release from Bikini Bottom, the office of, you see it? The office of the Prime Minister. You see this? February the 16th, PM S. You see it? Yes. All right. Subject of cyber attack. When you hear this? The office of the Prime Minister, top at Squid, has been the subject of a cyber attack. Remember, you know, we're not in North Korea and America, nothing like this now, you know. This just pop out our hat, right? Nobody want to go in a bullpen. None. Them want to destroy thing, you know. All right. A team of cyber security experts from the Cyber Incident Response Team, JACIRT, and the Major Organized Crime and Anti-Corruption Agency, MOCA, is working aggressively to assist the extent of the attack. Let's see this. The OPMS wish to assure the public that our
scan for Squid, yeah?
efforts are being made to protect the personal information of our staff and stakeholders. I know them have stakeholders up there. And staff and stakeholders. Oh, why we outside the pick and them up there with in the bullpen have one bag of thing go on. I mash up Jamaica. The OPMS take the security of our system and data very seriously and is working diligently to address the situation.
Okay, so when you finish about that when you about the cyber attack, because them just in the SSL them just bring out the cyber attack. Destroy them and destroy thing. What else you know about the cyber attack?
Nothing.
Them let go this. That is it.
They don't give any other details other than that release.
So who don't want to attack that? Why them never attack the bank and look some money and look something in? Is a bullpen up there? Because the amount of office and the amount of man up there, so boy up there. And them do a cyber attack up there for what? Somebody want to destroy something and say it's a cyber attack, man. And then them put it on a cyber attack. Them not talk to the public.
Look, it's all deflection, because if you remember, the opposition spokesman had challenged the Minister of National Security, particularly the JCF and its leadership, and said that if them can't curb crime by a certain amount within a certain time period, them should the commission should really think about resigning. And then what happened right after?
Them go
out of Stadium East. Them find gun. Them find gun about 1,000 at the core of the earth. Which bad man I got bury your gun way all the way down?
And that's in a sunny outside to everybody that drive and see.
Maybe somebody was using a metal detector out there. And you come across it because
that man have fight and put him gun and throw sand pan it, man. A big old pile of sand, man.
Yeah, they have to use a backward thing like that. Forget it all. And then if
I
you
want the
remember,
biggest bull truck to them use to lift it up. And then they come clean. They gonna show the sand and they might dig up and the pile. Enough sand that you know.
Well, I do an interview with Muta Baruka. And they ask me, say, so when me I try say, when we tell him, say, it just seem unnatural, and it seem unwise for a bad man would have take a gun or a group of men and bury it so far. When you need it, how you all get to it? So him say, so what I try say, like he must say the government bury, but Mr. Tim said, no, it's just food for thought. Just think it through yourself and you will arrive at the conclusion. Think it through for yourself. See him so with the plane a crash land off of the coast. Up to no. Nobody don't know what happened. See him so with the drugs out the airport. Yeah. Remember, not too long ago, the Fitz Bailey said that them know the people and things are gonna happen soon. And soon can't come all now.
Cause soon no come yet. I don't know. I must I don't know soon. Sooner than soon.
The fisherman when them catch with the whole heap of thing. We know you're not more about that case there.
Yeah, we know who for one too, you know. We know how for one, but the feast we don't know.
The one where them find, one of them find at the warehouse them out of the.
We know you're not there. It's $12 billion what?
Not more.
So these are the big boys them a do. And then we must talk, and they have some people talk foolishness, and that's them a mash up Jamaica. You see if them continue to do this, when you look now, everybody ban Jamaica, the poor people them suffer. Meanwhile, for them pack it long up. We know you're not that with them. Andrew yourself for all accountable, and that we are do. Me not look for the anthem for the play it, but me not see it. So we know so we are running now. So yeah, man. We are running.
It's a pleasure,
man.
Take care. All right, we'll talk soon.
People, we are run. So you know, say next week again.
Yes, we'll talk soon. We'll talk soon.
All right, bless up.
Bless up.
All right, sir, bless.